So I'll keep you updated, Dal, and I think we're good to go. You want to say hi, Dal? Howdy, howdy. We're just starting our stream to raise money for the Trevor Project.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, this is Nin.
Howdy, howdy. So you'll see a chat on the right, and you should be able to see anyone coming in. So we're going to do, probably going to walk at about 5 or so, and we'll know in a few minutes whether it works. If we see anyone in the chat, or if we don't see anyone in the chat, we'll know I've screwed up somehow.
Hopefully you haven't, darling.
Hopefully I haven't. Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Did we say start stream and not start recording?
Yep. Start streaming and it's recording and
Could
all
be
that.
recording.
Yeah. It's all good.
I'll start walking and see if anyone shows up.
Yeah. Now, how are you today, darling?
I'm alright. I'm a bit nervous about getting this right, but I'm gonna put.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just moving this so it's nice and close to me.
Yeah.
That's not too in the way. Has anyone showed up into the chat yet?
No, not that I can see.
Move over to the chat on the window chat, and let's see if we can see anyone there.
So this one.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
there is.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Okay,
there we go.
why isn't that? Oh yeah, okay.
Howdy, howdy. So
Howdy.
yeah,
Oh, hello. We got heaps and heaps and heaps of things going on here. We got Percy fan saying hi, a random Damon fan saying hello, Denny saying hi, the real boy howdy,
howdy, howdy.
Jake Animation says hi, Ryan Wilkins SpongeBob fanboy says hi, Jade Drizzle fan, have you heard of Little Brown Bear?
I haven't heard of Little Brown Bear. Is that a cartoon?
I believe it is actually. Little Brown Bear. Yeah.
Look it up. Any other chats I should know about?
So Nathan says hi. A random Damon fan says how are
Nathan.
you?
So we should probably start by telling them about the Trevor Project.
Yeah.
Basically, the Trevor Project is focused on lowering LGBTQIA plus self-harm rates and that sort of thing, because sadly there is a 39% of LGBTQIA plus people have considered self-harm, and so what they have found is that if you have at least one person, if an LGBTQIA plus person has one person in their life who they can reach out to and support, this is extremely helpful to them. So they offer counseling services, community services, support services, friend services, and many more things. The link is in the description if you would like to donate. But that service is also available to you and to anyone you might know. We've also put links in the description if at any time you feel like talking to someone, whether you are LGBTQIA+, neurodivergent, or whatever you are. We've put links in the description if you would like to talk to someone at any time, because obviously it's been a very difficult time lately for many people. So I wish I could have done this earlier. I wish I could have just booted this up and got this all ready the second all this started happening, and I'm so sorry this has come so late, but I wanted to start this. So basically I'm going to do 21 kilometers, as you can see in the description there. I wanted to try and get a timer working. I tried, I couldn't get it working. So Nin's just going to update as we go. So first, obviously, 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers, so on and so forth, and we'll go to half a marathon. Anything in the chat, Del?
Yeah, so I just thought that we'd address this pretty quickly. We've got Leonardo Piscia just basically saying, I thought you had abandoned the YouTube channel, so do you want to explain what's happened there, darling, just for those who might not know?
Yeah, so I haven't abandoned the channel. That video went quote-unquote viral, but unfortunately all my after videos where I explained that I didn't, because as I mentioned in that video, if I reached enough Patreon support, I would gladly return, and I was very lucky because I got enough support where I could keep doing the job I love, what I've been doing for the last 10 years, and because of that I'm now more emotionally stable, I'm sleeping better, Nin and I are much more just happy and okay. Nin worries less, I worry less. Yeah, it's just been absolutely wonderful. So thank you to patrons for that. The recent video on SpongeBob was a goal video that I did because I reached a certain milestone goal. There'll also be another milestone goal video after that. We'll probably do something in between based on what my new bosses request. Probably things that were illegal 100 years ago but legal now, but we may change that up. But yeah, so that's what this charity stream is about. Whether or not you're donating, the most important thing to me, whether or not we reach that, I've made a big milestone, whether or not we reach that, I just want to show the LGBTQIA community they are welcome and loved among us. I've added that always welcome here to the YouTube because I want people, LGBTQIA communities to know they are always welcome here. You know, this is a safe space, so that's why we're doing this. Yeah, and probably even 11 minutes. I'm going at about 5.5 kilometers an hour, and honestly, this speed is really dull to me. I may actually have to increase the gradient to 15 because I'm just like, oh, this is so freaking easy. But what we'll also do is, as we're going through, Nim will actually show the window. We can show that YouTube window, darling. You can practice that. So yeah, I may get bored and just increase the gradient to 15. I'm not sure, but I'll be chatting a bit, so I'll probably just for now leave it. So remember, Control Home, darling, and that will move the window. You want to look for the YouTube window. So remember the one in capitals. Take your time, doll. So, oh, but darling, the chat isn't showing. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Just relax. I'll show you. Okay, so we'll be right back. We're just gonna. YouTube chat is not showing, so we've got to keep that one. Sorry. What we'll do is we'll open that so that can show at all times. Sorry about that, doll. Okay. There we go. Alright, so you want to get this one down the bottom here, and you want to open that Control Home. And is that the one? And it's still not showing because now it is. Okay, there we go. Alright. Sorry about that. Don't forget to unmute, darling.
Yeah, I already am.
Yeah, great. So, and yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. And as we go through, as we reach certain goals and stuff, say, has there been any donations, darling, at all? Don't forget.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of donations here.
Well, you know what we got to do then.
We've got one for $2 from. Can't really see it now, but just trying to make this a little bit bigger so I can see. We've got Jesse has donated $10.
Oh, wow.
Peachy Lee has donated $2, and Pantalimion, I think. Sorry if I'm saying these names wrong, guys, but that one's $10. So we're going to do... Oh, we got another one from Anonymous for $10. So we got 32 skips, darling. And we're going to have a bit of a celebration. Here we go. Yay!
15, 16,
Thanks, guys.
15. Thanks, guys. 19, 20.
So currently we're at $32 raised.
5,
Thank you
6,
so much.
Thank you. 29, 30, 31, 32. Yay! So either one we hit 100 or 200, probably 200 based on how we go for donations. I'll do a little scathing critique of my old videos, and we'll do this as we go through.
Yeah.
Based on whatever you guys would like me to critique. I was thinking starting with Worst Cartoon Network because that was my most viral video that got the most views. Am I coming through clearly, by the way, guys? Let me know if the volume is too loud or anything. We've got a bit of music in the background. Nin's at the control panel and we'll adjust it as we go.
So we've got a bit of a list suggestion here, darling,
Yep.
from Ryan Wilkins. He says, can you do a top 10 forgotten SpongeBob episodes? Is that something that we can potentially look at?
Absolutely. Forgotten episodes, like that would be a tough one. I would say a lot of the new episodes are quite forgotten because they aren't as watched as much. Like I just covered all the classic episodes of season 1. I certainly can't call a single one of them really forgotten. No, I can't think so. It's all pretty well known. So I suppose you'd have to get into later seasons for that. Plenty of episodes I could think of though. I was like, oh yeah.
We got a question from KG. Oh, hang on, so that just jumped.
Don't forget to check if there are any donations, Duff.
None just yet. I just had something jump and now I don't know where that was.
Almost at our first kilometre.
Sorry.
What's up, Duff? If need be, just jump to the bottom. Don't get too caught up. There's a lot to.
Sorry, guys. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this chat.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll do a critique to start with in a bit of Worst Cartoon Network.
We got someone saying, "How do you donate?" So that's a really important question. Thank you for that.
The link is in the description. That being said, any super chats that will come through, I'll personally donate any profits that come through super chats through a donation at the end of the live stream. So if you can openly donate through, definitely preferred if you donate through the link in the description, as that'll show up in the corner, and we'll do our celebration thing. But yeah, any super chats I will donate to the Trevor Project. We'll also later on show a video basically showing you what the Trevor Project is and what donations are going towards the charity donation. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got KGK Skull asking, have you ever seen Kamen Rider? It's such an important series in Japan, especially after 2011.
Oh, no, Kamen Rider?
Yeah.
My anime phase was really in the 2000s, so a lot of my anime comes from 2000s anime, sort of like from 2004 till 2010. That was really my anime phase.
So we've got Solaris asking how have things been going for us recently.
Pretty good. Nin's just started a support work course.
Yeah.
I'm doing some support work as well now that I've got a little bit more free time and I don't feel as stressed all the time. I basically, for the last 6-12 months, was only focusing on videos. I wasn't focusing on anything else. May not necessarily show 1 kilometer down. We can update that.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, I was basically just really not focusing on anything else. But now I've started to have my old hobbies as well, and Nin and I are doing more stuff, and I'm actually doing support work as well now for one of Nin's clients. Not as often, obviously, as Nin. Nin does it full time, but I like to do some disability support work on the side now, which I really enjoy, because Nin and I have a lovely client. But yeah, that's we're doing okay. We're doing much, much better. I've noticed, yeah, as I said before, sleeping better, feeling a lot better. I'm so thankful. I do get a bit anxious about, ups and downs and stuff in patrons and stuff, but I didn't want to make my Patreon the focus of this, obviously. I wanted to make it about the LGBTQIA community and everything that's happened. Because previous people in power, without getting too much into it, or current person coming into power has said they only believe 2 genders exist. Basically, I don't even want to repeat it. I don't want to give them the attention. But in this community, I just want to make sure everyone knows they are welcome and accepted. So yeah. No, we're doing okay though, to answer a question.
Alright, so I just want to give you guys an update. We're up to $113 raised already. So thank you
Can we celebrate? Please interrupt
absolutely.
me. Yes,
absolutely. So we've got a Random Damon fan, thank you very much. Galaxy Astra, Ice Queen, Anonymous, another Anonymous, Palamitation, Michelle and Ali, Charlie, Crystal. So
can you say individually say thank you to each one?
Yeah, so thank you to everybody who has donated. It's very, very nice to see you all on here and just
But we want
supporting
to
this.
individually thank
Yeah.
each person with their name.
Yep. Thanks Palimitation, thanks Michelle and Ali, thanks Charlie, thank you Crystal, thank you a random Damon fan, thank you Galaxy Astra, thank you Ice Queen, and we've got 3 anonymous donations here as
Thank
well.
you,
So
Anonymous.
thank you
Appreciate
anonymous
that.
donations.
Thank you, Ali. Really appreciate that. We're getting right to... So we're already at 100 then.
We're at 114 now, so we must have just had another donation
All right, so
there.
as they happened out, it's very important that we show we really appreciate that because, and I want to make sure I do all the jumps. If we get to 500 jumps, I got to
Yeah, it's just
jump
not.
for
It's just not really
updating.
so it's really hard to sort of keep up to date with
Okay.
that.
Well, can you don't close any windows, but give you alt tab to the Tiltify window. Just hold it down. Hold down.
I can't do alt tab. It sucks.
Okay. So that's what you want. Go to the very top overlay so we can see that.
Where overlay?
Can you take a look? Try hitting the refresh F5. Thought it would be a bit more reliable, the Tiltify overlay.
It's just not.
Oh, okay.
So we're at 129 now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's look at the donations that have come through. If you go back to... Okay, great.
So
we've got individual messages. We should read those out.
yeah, so we've got some individual reference.
So what I'd like you to do is go through each person,
Yep.
give them their name, and thank you.
Okay. So thank you to Ray Randalls. They've donated $10 and they've left us a comment. Thank you, Strider. I've been watching your channel for years and years. You're such a beautiful person for supporting your viewers. I'm proud to be here with you. Much love from Ray.
Oh, it's
Thank
very
you, Ray.
appreciative you are, Ray.
I'll give you some bubbles and
How
some
many?
skips. So 10 skips for Ray.
Yay!
Okay, so we've got a $5 donation from Anonymous, and Anonymous has left us a message as well. Great to see you do this. I hope it's doing good.
Awesome.
Okay, so from Solaris and Indigo,
Solaris and Indigo, was it?
Yep, Solaris and Indigo, they've donated $1, which is amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Whatever donation is just really
Yeah,
appreciated.
absolutely. Michelle and Ali, they've donated $5, which is awesome.
Thank you, Michelle and Ali.
Thank you for Mama raising a pan, teen and gay son. Oh, seriously amazing. Seriously.
Yeah.
Radiant Percival, they've donated $25. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support. I'm a non-binary person living in the US, and things are so uncertain right now. I have no idea what the future holds, but I know I want to keep pushing forward. Thank you for standing with us. No, thank you for standing with us. It's fantastic.
And, whatever does happen, we'll always be here.
Yeah.
You've always got a welcoming community on YouTube, among your friends, among Discord communities, so that's always there, regardless of what happens.
And Charlie has got the $10 donation.
Hey Charlie, thanks a lot. 9, 10.
And Crystal with the $10 donation, which is awesome. Thank you, Crystal.
Yay!
So I'm just going to read some comments out
Yes,
here
please.
because I've already thanked these people.
Yep.
So from a random Damon fan, they've said, as a bisexual trans girl, What was the
amount?
$1.
Oh, wonderful.
As a bisexual trans girl, I'm so glad you're able to do this. Off topic, I recommend checking out album You Forgot It in People by Broken Social Scene.
Okay.
Anyways, ciao. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Ice Queen has donated $10.
Oh, dokie. Do we...
Okay. Oh, yeah. Little
4,
celebration.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And Anonymous has said to us, who's donated $10, this is so sweet, keep it up, guys.
4, 5. Thanks, Anonymous.
And Peachy Lee has said, sending much love here in the US, and they've donated the $2.
Thank you very much.
All right,
That was
so
wonderful.
Danielle Merceed has donated $10.
I know Danielle.
Yeah, we know Danielle. Thank you, Danielle. And she said, love the work you are doing, my good friends. Moonatic has donated $5. Thank you so much. And they've put a little rainbow emoji, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Been watching you for years, and I'm so happy that you are supporting us.
Oh, thank you.
Mimi Boy 47 donated another $2.
Oh, wonderful.
Have you ever played any of the Rayman games? They are one of my favourite games, and I would like to know what you think of them.
I really enjoy them. I like the French creator as well, and I love that French aesthetic. One of my favourite YouTube channels, Hoodoo Hoodlum's Revenge, literally named his channel after the game. But I had a lot of 3D fun with and the amount of style in Rayman. I'm a big fan of that game.
So just a little update, guys. We are now at $231 in donations. So Strider is going to need to start roasting a Cartoon Network episodes for us.
Okay, are we all up to date with talking to anyone who's donated and that sort of thing?
So we can go back to that.
Okay, we'll go back to that.
We'll start doing... Oh shit, what have I done here?
Now keep the audio output low because that will come out quite loud. If you want, just mute it as I've got captions on.
Where is the screen going?
So if you go down to the bottom, it's going to be the... Do you want me to help you, Del?
Yes, please. Please help.
All good. Be right back. Alright, so what are you looking for? Yep, okay. What you're looking for here is top 10 worst Cartoon Network. Is that the one you're looking for?
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, what's wrong with it? Oh, should be. Oh, okay. Well, it isn't right now. Remember that. Yeah. All right, let's get back to it. All right, and we are just about at 2 kilometers. So let's start this critique.
Alrighty, in 3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
All right.
So, good old forward in time. I admit that concept is kind of creative.
Your problem, darling. So that needs to be way down. We're not even meant to be playing that. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys. Technical
Okay, so,
dinosaur here.
Yeah, the audio output needs to be right down for that. Ideally, if you can mute that, darling, that'd be good. So, if you want to pause that, darling, we'll actually read out any donations we've had. If you can jump back to that window. Now, don't minimize anything. You want to look at the Tiltify window and just refresh that. Yep. Okay, so press F5. Should work. Yep, that's great. So we're just pausing for a sec to read out any donations we've had.
Okay, so we're up to $406.
Oh my goodness, we better get the... yeah.
So I'm just going to continue to pull a bubble here. So we've got Adam who's donated $10. Your favourite physics.
Adam, was it?
Yep.
Thank you, Adam.
Your favourite physics instructor named Jenny has donated $20.50.
Thank you, Jenny.
Anonymous has donated $5.
Let me know if there's any comments.
Oh, there's plenty of comments. So Adam said he's not glad a certain thing played out a few days ago. I don't mind helping the community. Thank you.
Well, the person you voted in does. Thank you for the donation.
Yeah. So your favourite physics instructor named Jenny donated $20.50.
Thank you, Jenny.
My dear friends who are struggling with worry. Jenny is always here. Anonymous donated $5.
Oh, great. Thank you, Anonymous.
Kay donated $10. I feel sad I didn't know this was a project. So good to see the love on the screen and I'll help. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Blackwolf 249 has donated $10.
Thank you, Black Wolf.
Nothing will make me happier than seeing your top 10 dumbest commercials or a video where you fix some of the bad creepy pastas that you and Dennis have told me.
Oh, you know, honestly, I'd love to do creepypastas again, but the last video that I did on Creepypastas not only took ages, but it performed worse than any video I've done in about 5 years. So because of that, I'm just like, Creepypastas in terms of interest are dead. I love doing them. I'm a storyteller at heart, but I can't. What was the other suggestion? I actually think it's a great idea, and if I did do the dumbest commercials, I would absolutely bring Doug on, and he would be delighted. I know already. If I asked him, he'd be like, yeah, for sure. And I'd have a lot of fun with that. So I actually think that's a legitimately good idea. I should mention that to my bosses on Patreon and see what they suggest.
This one is amazing, and I really, really want to give a shout out to Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Jake is doing for this. He has donated $100.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic going. I think for this one you're
No, I'm gonna. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, good idea. I'm walking backwards for Christmas.
Thank you so much, Jake. Those are amazing donations. Thank you so much. So Natalie has donated $10.
Thank you, Natalie.
She says thank you to both of us. So thank you, Natalie. Thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
Toby Dandelion has donated $10.
Thanks, Tony.
Deanna has donated $10. Are you okay, Tom?
Yeah, I'm
Please
fine. I
don't
can't
fall.
jump.
Anonymous has donated $10.
Thanks, Anonymous.
And then we are back at Danielle. So
Oh, that's
thank you,
fantastic.
Danielle, again. And we
Oh
love
my
your
goodness, she
work
did
too.
donate twice.
No, she hasn't.
Oh, but she's
that's
lovely,
just-
Danielle. Thank
yeah,
you.
She's lovely. So
Yeah.
we're up to $426.50 so far.
Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you guys so much for the donations. This is amazing.
Okay, I'm going to keep critiquing, as promised. Can we set the next goal in that text at 600, and we'll say I'll critique a video of anything in my library of your choosing, and just save that. But once you've done that, we'll continue the video. Just put that down to 5.5 for when I'm walking backwards. Oh, and we're almost at 3 kilometers. It's great. Whew. But yeah, I will keep critiquing this as we go. So basically, my whole beef with Problem Solvers is it looks bad. But there is a whole bunch of really good jokes in it. Like, I even literally quote a good joke in that. So if you can pop up that again, Dal, and just press the... We're left in a really ugly picture. I will admit that the main problem with Problem Solvers is visually it is just seizure-inducing. It's particularly the first episode, but as the show goes on, it doesn't look that bad. Yes, there is that MS Paint look to it, but apart from that, I didn't find any big issues with it. Like, it has some really talented voice actors, I'll give that, and I actually like the concept of some people going out and trying to solve, just help people. Just got like a team of people come together to help people. Next up, we've got Johnny Test, which I honestly am still not a big fan of, but I feel like I'm just picking on a kid here. I feel really rotten about this one because I'm just like, yeah, like, it feels like I'm not going to say it's a good cartoon, but it's very generic. Like, there's many cartoons out there like them, particularly at the time. The animation isn't particularly bad. My biggest complaint is Johnny can be a bit obnoxious, and he does power poots, which is basically a lot of farting. But you know, South Park does farting. Lots of cartoons do a little bit of farting in jokes, you know. It's a matter of if you just gotta, I don't know if I'd turn a fart into an attack for your main character. Oh, one other thing I noticed in this is I still allow flickers in these videos, which I never allow nowadays. Because a lot of people on the autism spectrum are photosensitive, and because about 50 to 60% of my YouTube community is on the autism spectrum, like me, I don't actually ever put in, because we can be very photosensitive, so I always remove any things that are like flickers or anything like that, and that really bothers me in videos. So, yeah, that's what I do there. And like, the problem, and actually as you look on in later seasons, once again I feel the cartoon actually gets a fair bit better in later seasons. It's been 7 years now, so I can't remember too much of this cartoon, to be honest. But looking back on it, I find it pretty inoffensive. I really mellowed out on these cartoons, I'll tell you that. Yeah, farting and exploding the city is pretty stupid. But I don't know, this is certainly not one of the worst cartoons of all time, in my opinion. For number 6, I'll let you do what you're doing. Secret Mountains Fort Awesome, I believe, is the next one. And, yeah, like, my only real complaint was visually it looked bad, but I gotta admit, this one I kind of stand by because it is really grotesque and really ugly. But again, Brothers Grunt was liked, and that was ugly, and a set of talking butt cheeks definitely, like, Uncle Grandpa is way better than this cartoon. I will say I stand by this choice. I don't think actually the writing and dialogue was that bad, to be honest, and hey Bob. Sorry, Shadow's going, meow. Yeah, I didn't think the writing and dialogue was that bad, and it's a shame with these cartoons because they can get overlooked. What's up, Bob? They can get overlooked for having really bad animation. Sure. I gotta say it, technically both are aimed at kids and definitely are possible to be enjoyed by young kids, but I just feel there's so much more depth and interest in the characters than SpongeBob, and you're welcome to, disagree with me on that one, I totally get it. But yeah, like, and there was very little to say, and that's the ironic part. People really wanted me to talk more about Teen Titans Go and Roast It, but there just wasn't much to say. It's an uninteresting show that uses a lot of ugly visuals, and I didn't like the fact that they made fun of, like, their audience very much continually, like in people who complained about the show. And there definitely was some comments from the creators, but I try very much nowadays to not attack people. Like, if I'm going to make fun of something, I want it to be a cartoon or a show or a creation. I never want that bile attached to people. And I think you would agree with me on that, obviously. So that's a goal in all videos nowadays. So nothing against the people who made this. They're doing their job, and they're way more talented than me. And that's the thing, is that people have said to me before, like, why don't you make a card? I'm like, I don't have that kind of talent. I don't have that kind of dedication and patience. And again, I give another warning here because I'm talking about Mr. Pickles, which is, again, I don't know how I got away with this. This dog is decapitating people, and yet this one absolutely stays on the worst Cartoon Network list. There's no question. Like, it's just an ugly show, and it's full of what I would call edgelord humor, where basically people are just doing things for the sake of getting attention. Like, and it can be stated in one sentence. The dog is a psychopathic Satanist that kills people. Again, I have no idea how I got away with these visuals. Like, nowadays, maybe, they'd look at this and flag me. I hope this video doesn't get flagged. But jeebus, is it ugly. Like, this one I'd absolutely say stays on the list. I have no issue with what I said on this. It's, yeah. The unlikable characters, unlikable, and I guess that makes it less annoying. Yeah. No, it's just ugly show. Terrible show. Well, once we get off this horrendous visual, darling, we'll read some more comments, I think. Are there any super chats, by the way? We should probably, because
how do I figure those out, sweetie?
Before you do, darling, if you can just pause the video. Thank you. Alright, now just remember to, not to minimize it. Yeah, okay. So if you can see up the top, you see there's a little thing that shows the super chat. So you want to click those. Yep. Now can you read that out and who it was?
So Sarah says, welcome to channel. Doesn't really say much. It just says, welcome to channel friend.
Welcome to channel. Okay, well, does it say how much was donated?
No.
Okay. And what's the other one say?
Same thing. It's from What's the Fool, so it's not really giving me anything.
Welcome to Chanogram. Super chats are very important. Welcome to channel friend. Oh, okay. That might be that someone has joined as a member. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. And there's no super chats. Okay, yeah. Oh, apparently there's no super chats there. My apologies if we've missed your super chat. Really sorry about that. So, okay, we better just double check, darling, that there's not been any donations. If you just want to refresh that,
Okay, so
I just said F5. Yeah. What have we got?
our current donation pool is at $696.50, which is amazing.
We're gonna hit that. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome,
I thought I'd
guys.
set the bar, really way too high. Get that? Who knows?
This is awesome.
Amazing. And who are they from, darling?
Okay, so we've got Ali, who's donated $3 4 minutes ago. Thank you, Ali.
Thanks, Sally.
We've got Kingsley Lim, who's donated
Cheers, Kingsley.
$10. Doily Boy Gaming has donated $5.
Thanks, Doily.
Saul Goodman has donated $10, and
wow. Thanks,
they've left
Saul.
us a beautiful comment saying you're a very nice guy and I can tell you have a big heart. I like your videos and I look you up just for your kindness. So thank you so much for that. That's
Thank
beautiful.
You. Really appreciate your kindness too.
Vivi has donated $10.
Oh wow!
And
Thank you, Vivi.
they have left us a comment saying you are an awesome creator and I'm really glad you're able to stay on the platform. I hope to see many more.
Oh, wonderful. Oh,
Aussie with a smiley face has donated $10. So thank you, Aussie.
Thank you, Aussie. 1, 3, 4. Keep them rolling, though.
Bubbles, bubbles.
Yay, bubbles. Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donations, everyone.
Yeah,
Really
it's
appreciate
amazing.
that.
It's
That's
so
just
good.
Amazing. But we got we had 2 choices, and Nin was like, I'll go with the simple one. I was like, no, we need the machine gun bubble thrower.
By the way, this is the simple one that, just sort of
just goes.
doesn't really do much. It just makes a really big noise and,
It gives you some bubbles.
gives
We
you
need the
some
machine
bubbles,
gun
but
bubbles.
not as many as the Fang Dangle one, so
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, shall we continue the review?
yeah, for sure.
All right, so if you press start, let's go. And next, of course, we've got the 12-ounce mouse, which the 12-ounce mouse came out at the time where basically Adult Swim was doing the cartoons that were meant to be very low-quality animation. It was sort of like simple for the sake of simple, and it was simply sort of delving into that. But honestly, I didn't get much interest because it was mostly like, again, it was that edgy time where there were like hot jokes and that sort of thing, and I was just like, I didn't find that much really clever writing or dialogue in it. I would actually say, this is going to sound silly, but I think Problem Solvers has way better writing than this show. And I guess this is why I save these ones for the bottoms, because I don't feel like my opinion changes this much on these, these 3, 4 worst, because, yeah, there wasn't much saving them in my opinion. But that being said, this was made on a very low budget, and who knows, maybe someone at 12 a.m. on Adult Swim who was feeling a bit down got a few chuckles from this, and it's better animation than I can do. Yeah, I think it's still better animation than I can do. It's more smooth. So, I still put her on the list. Who am I kidding? It's still a bad cartoon. I'd still say it's pretty bad. No, not much else to say on 12-ounce mouse. It's such simple animation. What's up, darling?
Oh, nothing. I'm just laughing at you.
Oh, look, we've got a super chat there. Do you want to read that?
It's just someone that's come in. It's the same kind of thing. It's not really giving you much apart from welcome to channel friend Kathleen Hart.
Oh, thank you.
There's Benjamin Venti who's come in.
Why does it just say welcome to channel
I
friend?
don't know.
Oh my goodness, I apologize if I'm missing out on the super chat. I don't know what's gone wrong with the live chat there.
Yeah.
But definitely recommended to make donations through welcome to channel friend.
Got somebody saying I don't think we can do super chats. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's... Okay, let's just double check that.
Sorry, guys.
Can you update us to 4.5 kilometers?
4.5 kilometers?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Gee, I hope I've gotten that right, and yeah, that's correct. 4.5 kilometers. 4.6 kilometers. Oh my goodness, no.
What?
My least favorite cartoon. Have you still got that running, Del?
I think so, yeah. So it's, what's his name?
Somebody put me out of my misery. It's annoying orange. Oh, I don't even like looking at this cartoon. how is this ever a thing with us? You know, this Dan Bow guy putting his face in green screen on these pieces of fruit, and Cartoon Network being like,
it just looks creepy, to be honest.
It looks horrible, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
I just don't get it. And like, I've seen this style before, where I remember there was these ads where they put like thumbs out and put faces on the thumbs, and it just looks horrendous. Like, I do not, and like, does it even need to be said the writing isn't good? I don't know. But because it went viral on YouTube, and at one time a lot of us enjoyed it at a young age, it kept getting, they were like, okay, we need to greenlight this into a show. So I don't know, this is one of those cartoons that makes me think I do not understand the YouTube generation that grew up on this stuff and really enjoyed it, because this stuff never really appealed to me, even when I was younger. Like, I just don't get the appeal on it. Like, what did I enjoy? I enjoyed Anime Club. That's the thing, is like, I would go to Anime Club and watch actual anime and that sort of thing. But I never sort of sat down and said, oh, let's watch Annoying Orange. Oh, this is so funny. Oh, I mean, I enjoyed Newgrounds flashes, but this I just never got the appeal of. I would just be like, I saw this and the problem is, whenever I watch it, I never talk about it because it just makes me sad. It just makes me sad and say, I do not understand how this is, you know, like, but that being said, nowadays it's not the most popular thing. Like, there was a time where it was, but nowadays we've got stuff like Has Been Hotel and really talented creators. Oh my goodness, that was way too high in terms of audio. But we've got much more talented creators nowadays, and I just think, like, why didn't they get a show? Why was this the one on YouTube to get a show, on Cartoon Network to get a show? And I say, well, because it got views, and that's what matters. Hey, it's Nin. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I just had to get in front of the camera because I had someone saying, where is Nin? I can't see her. Hi Ava, I'm here. I'm just in behind the scenes at the computer. Please go ahead, darling.
Oh yeah, no, you jump in any time, darling. You can even move the camera if you want, but we just wanted to mainly focus on the fact that we're walking for it. But Nin is behind the scenes doing everything. I owe everything to her for this one, because I could not do any of this myself. What do you think of it, darling? Looking at the visuals of this and just the animation quality in general.
Like I said earlier, I just think that it looks so creepy. Like, I've never liked when animated things have like human mouths put on them. Like, it just looks creepy as hell to me.
Uncanny valley.
Yeah, it's so uncanny, and like, you know, the moving human eyes, it's just so weird to me. It looks ugly.
That's all you could really say about it, really. And that's it. It's like, the joke's about it looks ugly.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I had this thing back in the day where I had to end every video with, this is the positives. And I don't know why I did that. Like, I like ending on a positive note, but it felt so superficial when I look back at it 8 years ago. And I'm just like, I just want to treat you, I don't want to put it in that strong a format or structure, because you're a person, you get it. You're like, you don't need to be told but things are okay every time. Like, it's important to be a reassuring voice and a positive voice in general, but it feels so superficial when I look at it now. So there we go.
Thanks for all the shout outs, guys. I am still here. Nin, 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 hello. Thanks for the person who said that they like my voice. Meow, the cat's going off too. Thank you. Yeah. Hello, Bubba. Come here, Bubba.
Yeah, Shadow's got a lot to say. He shows up a lot in our Patreon videos where he'll jump on the desk and just have a little chat to us, and then I'll be patting him while I'm ranting about this or that, or discussing this or that, you know. I recently did like a video on, I actually just recorded a video with Sarah on LGBTQIA plus cartoon characters, which I will also talk about. That's why I have been asking on Twitter and stuff about cartoon characters on the autism spectrum and LGBTQIA plus cartoon characters, because I wanted to see the representation in cartoons and sort of what we're looking at. So yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to give a quick update. We do have some more donations. We're currently up to $798.50 in our donation pool, which is amazing. Thank you so much again, everybody. So Michelle has donated $1 and she has left us a beautiful message saying the welcome message on YouTube are people who've paid to become members of your channel. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
And yeah, I do appreciate them
Beautiful.
as well. They're why I'm still here, as I've said in videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anonymous has donated $10. Thank you, Anonymous.
Thanks, Anonymous.
Duzan has donated $25.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much, Duzan.
Okay.
They've left us a beautiful message saying best of wishes to all LGBTQIA plus people. Some of the best people I've ever met have been LGBTQIA plus. Everyone deserves to be accepted and appreciated. Love you all. Absolutely agree. Thank you so much for that lovely comment.
25. I'll get a drink in a sector.
Callie from October has donated $10 5 minutes ago and says
Thanks,
thank you so much for doing this. And Anonymous has donated $5 7 minutes ago. Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Give Josh a bit of a drinky here. Go on for a little bit there. How long have you been going for, Dom? Is it 5.5?
We are at 5. No, it's 5.1.
5.1 kilometres. We're at 5.1 kilometres, guys. I'll just update that.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks, Dom. Not going to choke on camera. We'll look at worst Nickelodeon next if that's what's requested.
Yep.
Yeah. Excuse me. Alright, can I put this without it falling down? Yes, I can. Alright. Alright, just pause that for a second, darling. So are we looking at worst Nickelodeon?
Yep.
Okie dokie, I can pop that up. Sorry about the dead air, guys. We're just I'm just moving to worst Nickelodeon, and we will look at that one next, which was another of my most popular videos at the time. And I gotta say, just looking at it, I don't even like the thumbnail I used because I don't even talk about SpongeBob. Why is he the thumbnail? Like I don't even talk about him. Like, do I? No, I don't even make the argument that like mid-season SpongeBob is the worst. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's a stupid thumbnail, and we'll jump into this stuff. Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right. No, I think the intro is okay, but again, it's so wrong because like I mostly talk about Nickelodeon sitcoms, which yeah, like I will definitely get into that, but and I would actually stand by the argument that I think Cartoon Network has a wider array of good shows, good cartoons, but there are some real classics on Nickelodeon, and obviously not all the Nickelodeon sitcoms are bad. There are some really good ones, which I also talk about, but in general I wasn't a fan, but at the same time I also I felt bad making this video nowadays because I'm like, I feel like I'm making fun of these young actors who, frankly, if they're on national television doing these things, are way more talented than me. You know, I'm extremely, and oh, I got to point out this. I was like, I misled so many people with that because they was like, what? So you're saying you need to pee? Like, I don't know why I went with that wee dance thing. I thought like, what was I thinking? And again, I'm using tons of SpongeBob footage, but I'm not even talking about SpongeBob. That's so silly. And the other problem I had was that it was really hard to get good footage of this one because I was relying on kind of YouTube footage of the shows. But yeah, like nowadays I will say they're forgettable, but I will say I think they often give a more unhinged performance than Disney actors. What do you call Disney sitcom actors? I felt they give a more interesting performance at least. But oh, the canned laughter on these, that is still the thing that just drives me insane. Like they won't even say something funny, and like Henry Danger is a perfect example of that. Again, why am I showing the footage of... I'm not talking about Fairly Odd Parents, why am I showing that? And again, I'm showing Nicholas... This is silly. Like, I was doing all the editing myself back here, back in this day, obviously, as you can see, because like, why would any of my team include footage of SpongeBob? I'm not talking about SpongeBob. Mr. Meaty, again, I feel this show, this is some of my first cringy, I had what I call nowadays cringe reactions, where I just felt it was so important for some reason to put in me in my sweaty shirt. And yeah, part of the reason I was always sweaty in these is it's generally like 30 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius in where Nin and I live, Queensland, and just stupidly hot all the time. And because the fan and air conditioning was really loud, I would never turn it on. But anyway, basically, my first complaint in this was the animation didn't look good, which was such a shtick for me back in there. I don't know how you people put up with me. I'm sorry, not you people, you. How you put up with me. Talia in the Kitchen. I hated that I put this on the list. It is such a nice show, and it got cancelled shortly after. I felt so bad. Like, and I'm not saying I was to do with it, but I didn't even make good reasons for it being bad. Like I said, like, there was too nice. What kind of stupid complaint is that? There's too nice. And then I say, I wanted to watch the world burn. How, like, what? SpongeBob is nice all the time. Like, and I can't say enough nice things about SpongeBob. Yeah, I'll give it complaints, but... And my complaint here was from the first episode that, like, I want to get my cook on, like, and I thought that line was bad. The actors weren't that bad. They weren't great, but they're teen actors. What do you expect? They're better actors than some of the Harry Potter actors. You know, like, and look at this. What a stupid complaint. That I wanted to watch the world. I hate that line. I should cut it out of there. I try not to cut parts out of my old videos just because I don't agree with them. Because I feel it's a bit like George Lucas going back and cutting the old Star Wars, but not. Ooh. No, and I don't think anyone gives two craps, unlike George Lucas. I don't think anyone gives two craps about these old videos. But I look back on them as a creator and say, what was I thinking? And God, now I'm complaining about this guy's appearance. Why? What's wrong with him? He's got the exact same haircut as me. Like, what is wrong with that appearance? He's got his hair nice. He's not doing anything wrong. He's talking about some cooking, and this is literally not even on the show. That was footage from outside the show when they're just doing some stuff with viewers, you know, just cooking some stuff. So yeah, all my Talia in the Kitchen complaints, if I could, I would say, this is the problem, is that for me to get traction, part of getting on YouTube originally was just talking about making fun of these things, but I had no big issues with something like Talia in the Kitchen. Oh, by the way, we just hit 6 kilometers, darling.
Oh, beautiful. We might pause for a moment, darling.
Oh yeah, for sure, darling.
Because I'll just update this goal quickly.
Yep, so 6 kilometers.
So I just want to refresh this. So our donation pool is currently at $961.50.
We nearly made it to 1,000.
I know, this is awesome.
That's amazing. Well, we got some donations to read up.
We do. So Monique Starr, and we love Monique. Hi Monique. So she's donated $25, which is awesome. Oh, look at this, darling. We have one of our editors, Toon Ricky. Toon Ricky.
Oh, Ricky. Hey, Ricky.
He's donated $25 and he's left us a message saying, hey, Josh, keep up the great work for a safe space. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you so much, Ricky.
And now this one, I'm going to get you to do some backwards running on this one, darling. Afterlife has donated $250.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much, Afterlife.
Afterlife,
Yep. They've left us a beautiful message. They said, hi Strider, just want to say I absolutely love your content. I've been watching your channel regularly since December 2015, January 2016. Since I was 11 years old, all the way up to 2024, where I am now, and they are 20 years old. You and Nin make such a beautiful couple. Thank you so much. That is so beautiful, and thank you for the amazing donation that's going to make a massive difference.
You're going to walk backwards for a bit.
Yep, we're going to walk backwards now. Make some more bubbles. Okay, so Anonymous has donated $12.
Thanks, Anonymous.
They've left us a message saying, as someone who's watched since I was a kid, thank you so much for your maturity and for helping me become who I am.
Very mature, yeah.
Yeah. Walking backwards and singing silly songs. They've also said, I doubt your roast creepiest animated movies, but I wish I had recommended the war documentary Waltz with Bashir for the list.
That was one of my first collaborations with Nostalgia Critic, actually.
Yeah?
Animation.
Oh,
I think
awesome.
the writing was better on that one than my worst movies of all time. I still wasn't 100% with it looking back. But I do still think there was some really interesting choices on that list.
Yeah. So Anonymous has donated $2. Thank you, Anonymous. We've got another Anonymous who's donated $25, and they've said, let's go! Woohoo!
Let's go backwards.
Rydogzilla has... Rydogzilla has... Huh?
Good name.
Yeah. They've donated $10, and I think I've already read this one out. Recent events have me concerned. Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Recent events have me concerned. I'm not going to sit and watch anymore unless, of course, it's Strider giving his all. Keep it up. Thank you.
I think that is worth mentioning as well.
Yeah.
I can't really concentrate for a second. Let's get turned around.
Turn around, darling. I think you've done enough.
Backwards for 250 later. And everyone else helping out. It is worth mentioning to definitely take a break from your social media. I've started a Blue Sky channel. Not many people seemed interested, but I've got it there, and I'll update that with silly cat videos and Nin and me doing stuff. I've got a few of Shadow just going meow. You're just taking a break, are you, Bob?
He's falling asleep.
You can't see him here, but he's looking at me going, hey. But yeah, make sure you are taking a break from social media, because it's intense right now. It's really intense. And there are a lot of people sort of doing the same thing as me, is sort of saying make sure you're looking at something else and trying to give some positive vibes out there. But definitely though, do take a break from social media.
We have another donation that's come through as well from, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, Anoushi or something like that.
Anoushi, I know him.
Yeah, they've donated $10.
Thank you, Anoushi.
And
she actually helped me with we were trying to get the timer working for the Glomridge, but thank you for your efforts on that.
So Anoushi has left us a bit of a joke here.
Yeah.
So why do bees have sticky hair?
Why?
They only use honeycombs.
I like that.
Thanks, Anoushi.
Extra jump for the joke. Yay!
Okay, and we've just got another donation come in now. So
wow.
that this is from Mina the Pastel Axolotl.
Thank you, Mina.
They've donated $10.
Yay, one.
So just a little update, guys. We are currently at $981.50.
Thank you.
So that's amazing. We're probably going to reach that 1,000. Oh, yeah. We just got another one come in from Charlie. Sorry. For $10, and Charlie has said, thanks for the amazing goal and promotion of a safe space. You and Nin have always been kind and respectful to me, and I'm proud of you both. Much love. Thank you, Charlie. We love you too.
We love you too.
Yeah. So that brings our total currently to $991.50. So that's amazing. This is going so much better than we thought it would.
No, absolutely.
And we're just so grateful, guys. Honestly,
really
thank you.
I set the bar very high, and I really appreciate you contributing to a good cause. And as I said, even if you can't contribute, it's not just about the good cause and the money, but also about just spending some time to acknowledge the LGBTQIA plus community and people who are going through a difficult time, and just reminding them that they've got a safe space and a place where they're welcome. That's the main thing. So, you want to jump back into the video, darling?
Yeah, we'll jump back into the the roasting now. There you go, darling.
Now, I don't take back anything I said about Henry Danger. I still hate this show. I hate it so much. Every time I tune into this show. Like, I remember I talk about it for the worst sitcoms, and it's the only one of the Nickelodeon lists. I put into worst sitcoms because I watch it and I'm like, the amount of canned laughter in this cartoon. Every time I open a video of Henry Danger, I can open up any video, they will have canned laughter and not saying anything funny. I'm sure the actors, and I have no idea what they were doing there. Nickelodeon kind of sometimes just has a bit of fun with it, and I try not to judge. They don't know, they're just having fun on set. But anyway, like, I have no positive thoughts about this show. I just think, like, the amount of canned laughter, this is the show I look at when I think, why do we have canned laughter? If you do not legitimately get your audience to laugh, then don't put in canned laughter. In fact, what I appreciate about modern Red Dwarf series, such as British sitcoms like Red Dwarf, is nowadays they don't have canned laughter. Like here, he says, these cages are very strong. Ha 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 ha. How is that funny? How is that funny? It reminds me of the Flintstones, and Doug actually pointed this out in his Flintstones discussion, where you would hear, I remember I would watch as I was a kid, and you'd hear this ha 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 ha, and I'm like, why is that funny? You know, Fred will say, yabba dabba doo, ha 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 ha. I'm like, that's not funny, why is that funny? This is confusing. And, but yeah, again, nothing against the actors or people producing the show. I'm sure they're not doing anyone any harm with that show, it's fine. I just really hate it. I hate it. Think about Banana Cricket. I don't think I made very good points with this show because I was mostly just spending a minute or two talking about how ugly it is. And I guess I point out, blur, they say blur on set, which was actually banana, I think I was saying, but that joke came out kind of funny, so I give it a pass. And looking back, I think what they were trying to go with, as I mentioned, is a sort of oh, that is really gross. The poop thing is really gross. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That hasn't aged well. And I guess this is the problem with some of these shows. You just look at them and you're just like, oh, that's gross. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sorry, guys. I just looked at that at the wrong time.
The problem is that Ren and Stimpy got away with it because they did ugly, and this show was like, okay, we can do ugly, grotesque jokes. Clearly there's an audience for it with Ren and Stimpy, and maybe the creator of this show was like, I'm good at doing ugly stuff and gross jokes, and obviously it looks like it's being flooded with
Just want to interrupt it just very quickly. It looks like we've hit $1,000, so just saying.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yay!
Yay! Here we go. We'll do some bubbles as well. Here we go. Here's some bubbles.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about this stupid show anyways.
I'll read out your comments soon on that, guys, but thank
absolutely.
you. But we'll just do some bubbles.
Oh yeah, and I also got the name wrong. That's another problem, is like and people point that out, I think I call it Pig Boat Banana Cricket, and it's Pig Goat Banana Cricket, and for this one, I didn't even watch that much of it. I think I watched the first 5 episodes, and that is a problem you'll run into with some YouTube reviewers. If you've got 10 shows to look over in this case, and you've got to have your video out in a week, you're going to watch the first 5 or so episodes, and you might not see a show like Uncle Grandpa, which got considerably better in later seasons. Like Auntie Grandma's really good character, for example, and they just don't get a chance. Because a lot of reviewers as well on Rotten Tomatoes will only watch the first couple of episodes of a show, maybe. This is another case with Awesomeness TV where I'm not even critiquing the show because I couldn't even find footage of the show. They just have them dancing. Not dance, dancing very cringe, but again, probably better than I could dance. I mean, I can go. Still better than I could dance. But I do think this spawns some funny jokes. Basically, this is the first case of me just picking apart and just kind of doing a bit of a Doug thing or Nostalgia Critic thing, where I just talk about an issue and what this part can be turned into, or make a joke about it, a bit like, what he does on commercials, where you're just taking like 10 seconds of footage and making fun of it. But and I don't even critique the show that much. So I don't know what I was doing with Awesomeness TV, but I guess, to my defense, it made people laugh. And yeah, the whole joke here is that she's got chocolate on her face. And yeah, that is legitimately really silly that that's a joke. But again, it's not even a freaking show. So what was I thinking with that? But this did spawn the light 'em up joke, which I still think is kind of funny. That's it, boys, light 'em up. Because it sounds like the audience is going, ah! I'm out of things to say with this show, darling. Do you want to read out a donation or two? If there have
Do you want me
been
to
any?
pause or?
No, keep it running. I have nothing to say.
Oh, okay.
Awesomeness TV is like, I'm doing a cringe thing where I lift my hands and I was so cringe back then. Like, look at this, I'm going, yeah.
All right. So the couple of donations that we've had was from Cassie.
Thank you, Cassie.
Yep. So she donated $2. Transfem YouTuber here, sending my love. Thanks for supporting a great cause and love
Thank
your
you so
content.
much.
Now back to playing Shadow Generations.
Good choice.
Beautiful. Monique Starr has donated $25 3
Monique.
minutes ago. Hi, Monique. Appreciate what you're doing, Josh. Got to show love for the Alphabet Mafia. Uncreative Avis has donated $3. I've been trying to keep my head high despite all the stuff going on in the world.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it warms my heart to see acts of charity
Yeah.
like this stream. So, thank you. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you for being part of it.
Yeah,
Really
thank you for
appreciate it.
coming along. Like we really love doing these sorts of things. So thank you for being
And
a part of it.
I'm hoping now that I am Patreon supported, that I do this more often, because this is what I've always wanted to do regularly, to do something which I felt helps people and just legitimately helps people, and can do some good during a difficult time, and if people tune in and we do some good, which we already have, it's amazing. It makes me feel good about it. So yeah.
So the total donation pool at the moment is $1,021.50.
Oh my
so thank you
goodness, that's
everyone
great.
for contributing.
We had
It's
grand.
amazing.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, it's great. And now this show next. I would leave this on the list. I still think this is really obnoxious. It's sort of the 3D equivalent to Breadwinners, but I actually think I make a good point with Hotel Transylvania, which I think is one of the most overhated movies that's been out in the last 20 years. I've watched all 3 of the Hotel Transylvania movies, and I think that's some of Adam Sandler's best work. And my main complaints were the first 3 episodes of Fanboy and Chum Chum, where it was so obnoxious and just has nothing to say. But at the same time, it's the writing's bad. That's a problem. There's it's just not giving kids anything. There's nothing to be. This is what happens when I'm live. Is sometimes I'll just botch up like this in terms of what I'm saying. But what can you say about freaking Fanboy and Chum Chum? I didn't like the animation style. I'll say that's one thing about it, is that I found it too plasticky. It's what I think falls into the Happy Meal toy style of animation, which I just can't stand. I'd say that's one of my issues with Jimmy Neutron. That you can get this sort of really cheap Happy Meal toy look to some animation where it becomes so plasticky. You just I feel like this should be kept away from children under 5, because they might swallow this show. This horrendous. And Nick Studio 10, I made no. Is this even a show? What was I thinking with Nick Studio 10? Is that still showing, darling?
Yeah.
I have no idea what my argument was with this. This is basically a clip, because this was the other problem. I couldn't find Nick Studio 10. This is such a flawed list, because a lot of these choices, what was it? Awesomeness TV and Nick Studio 10, I couldn't find any footage of. So I'm literally taking footage from outside the show that was uploaded onto YouTube, because people kept suggesting this show. And I was like, well, I can't get footage onto here to show you. So I just took footage, I have this one scene of them just getting some mixture of stuff and drinking it. And I'm just like, what a stupid... And even the quality on that is bad. And the problem I ran into with this list is I mainly were focusing on Nickelodeon sitcoms, and there just weren't that many that I could say this is legitimately bad. So, even then I look back on some of the next sitcoms. Fart in the Jar was really stupid though. That was really stupid. And again, I feel bad for all these young Nick actors who can look back on this video, this high quality video. So look at the camera quality on that. My best footage is of fart in a jar. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think that one's aged too well. I don't know, maybe people ironically enjoy it in 2024. I feel like it maybe is probably aged alright in terms of like it's ironically enjoyed now. It's a bit like us in 50 Shades.
Absolutely.
Man, I had so much to say about a fart in a jar. Like,
It's literally a fart in a jar.
it's a fart in a jar. They feel bad for the actors. It was a bad choice. I'm going to take a drink because I have nothing to say about fart in a jar.
Oh yes, we've had plenty of people saying please stay hydrated, Strider, so keep going.
Excuse me. Thank you. All right.
They
This
still
is
going?
actually Jeanette, who's famous on being in a bunch of Nickelodeon sitcoms. And she's saying it tastes like vomit. And
Oh.
yeah, it's just not much to say about this one because I wasn't even. It's such a badly done list when I look back at it because it's like half of them aren't even on the list. It's not even proper footage. But Breadwinners. I still can't stand this cartoon. I don't know how it got like 3 seasons, but it did. It got 3 seasons, and eventually it was cancelled. People were like, "Oh, it's amazing! It's been finally cancelled. People finally listen." But if a show gets 3 seasons, a cartoon particularly, which animation is expensive. Does it cost like at least $1 million? I think it costs about 10 million to 20 million. I think it's 10 million or $5 million per Family Guy episode, which are like 20 minutes. Animation is really expensive, so to get 3 seasons and then to be quote-unquote cancelled, they could have just done their run. You know, two crazy ducks just screaming about bread and delivering bread. Maybe 3 seasons was all they could get out of that before they were just, you know, like jingling keys on camera. I feel like if you get 3 seasons into a cartoon and, you know, yeah. This is what I didn't get about it, is I just did not get what sort of audience they were going for. Like, they've got chainsaws on camera, so clearly they're not going for the 2 demographic, but the animation looks like it was made for 3-year-olds, so I'm just like, okay, so it's not aiming at the young demographic because they're attempting to chainsaw people, and they're attempting to use love loaves to essentially drug them. So I'm just like, who is this aiming at? Maybe the 9. No, I can't see. I don't know who this show was aiming at, but it got 3 seasons. So clearly they know better than I do. As from my understanding, it was based on, again, a YouTube cartoon, which maybe it was a cute little thing when it began. I have heard people say originally the show on YouTube was much better, and I think it's like taking my crummy show and turning it into a Disney Plus show or something. It probably wouldn't be as good. It probably wouldn't be the same. I probably don't need, you know, a huge budget or something like that. The quality of my videos is probably enough as is right now. I'm probably just meant to be a warm, pleasant voice that talks about SpongeBob for a smaller audience nowadays. That's probably what I'm meant to be, and I'm honored to still be here. So sometimes I think when you have a YouTube video that's done a lot of views, that doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be turned into a full-blown Disney Plus show or Nickelodeon show. And holy jeebus, I just kept going on about the show. And that's the thing, is I would rant on these shows.
I love the end scene there that you left it on with the breadwinners just twerking.
What was that?
The breadwinners were just twerking,
They were
doing
twerking.
that, just...
Oh, there was so much of that, and that show, like, it was just so into doing the kind of millennial. No, it's not even millennial. I think it's Gen Z at the time, because this was in the 2010s, and I was just starting to go, oh, they young kids, and they doing these things and that, and they're twerking. So I think it was the generation after me,
Yeah.
because I'm technically a millennial. Oh no! Oh, I hate this show. I hate it so much. Oh.
What's wrong with this show, darling?
Are we watching Fred?
Yeah.
Okay, we're watching the same show. Yeah. Have you
What's
ever
wrong with
seen-
it? No, I've never seen it.
No, it's basically a kid screaming. Not even a kid, a full-blown adult screaming in high pitch. It was a thing of the times. That's the thing, and I show a bunch of much better shows, but the way he mugs the camera, to be fair.
Is it a 90s thing? The show?
Not even a 90s thing. I think it was like a 2000s thing,
okay.
like 2005. To some degree, you know, we were all part of it. And it actually got like, I think 3 or 4 movies, and I don't think it went out to a huge audience. And the guy was probably willing to do it on a fairly small budget. I can't say that this was probably a huge budget. He managed to find a clean room to film in, and someone had to clean up the crap he put all over the floor. But someone had to come up with a costume and put him in straps. And people had to pay money to people to actually tolerate him. So clearly there was some budget in these movies. And that was part of it, is like the Fred the show, I didn't have that much good footage of. But the Fred the movies, I can't make fun of his haircut because it's not that far different from mine. Admittedly, mine doesn't get quite that that long. That's right, I ended up taking footage of him slamming into a wall repeatedly. And just putting that. I remember in a later video, I put it on like a loop to a song. Oh dear. But Fred the show, nothing good to say about it. I show a bunch of, at the time, really popular shows that I felt were legitimately really good YouTube shows that came from very different genres and audiences that I felt showed really the creativity and variety available on YouTube, and basically did an imploring to people and said, why are we going for this? Why is this the most popular? Surely we can, give those views to... I see so many 1,000 view channels that I'm just like, oh, the quality on this is so much better than Fred. But, it's about YouTube. There's much more talented people than me, but YouTube is often just about being in the right place at the right time and choosing the right topic. And, it's definitely not a place of meritocracy. I can say that after 10 years on here. I'm so lucky to be where I am. And again, on the topic of just the video, like I'm sort of doing that whole, but it's not so bad, these are good shows, there's lots of good shows on Nickelodeon, well, bye-bye. I know I was just talking about and ranting about for 24 minutes about how bad these shows are, but there's good out there. It wasn't even that good because retention tends to drop at conclusion. That's part of it, is like, I was like, clearly I'm just saying the same old shtick over and over. So, I don't know why I did that, and looking back, I cringe at the fact, I tried to leave a positive impact, but at the same time, I look at it and I'm just like, this was not a good model and structure for videos. I guess it's good to end on a positive. Anyway, you get the point with that. I think I've said my bit on that. Is there any donations we should read out, Del?
Do you want to stop the video, or...?
What was that? I'll just leave the video there. Yeah, that's fine. You can pause it.
Alright, so we'll just do a quick update. So we're currently sitting on $1,109.50, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
That's
we've had in the last few seconds, we've had a donation from Melanie Miku, who's donated.
I know Melanie.
You know Melanie? So they've donated $3. Thank you,
Thanks,
Melanie. Can't afford to donate more than this small amount, but I just had to donate this. Thank you, Stripe. But thank you, Melanie. That's amazing.
Anything's amazing. Thank you.
Anonymous has donated $25. Thank you, Anonymous. Andrea Smith has donated $10.
Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you. They've left us a little message here saying, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, my family were extremely anti-LGBT. After growing up and distancing myself from that religion, I have grown to respect LGBT people. It's the least I can do to help support them at least. Thank you so much, Andreas. That is amazing.
I totally get that, Andreas. Thank you so much. I grew up a Catholic and there was a lot of anti-LGBTQI in that community as well. So I just, on that, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the donations.
Yeah. JGP3 has donated $25. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Kismet has donated $25 as well. Thank you, Kismet. They've also left us a message. You don't need to jump, but I want you to take a break for a few minutes if need be.
Okay. I'll do 25.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for donations. That's amazing.
Yeah. And we've just had another one in the last few seconds for $2 from Sarah Smiley.
Thanks, Sarah.
And Sarah has said, we're all in this together. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Sarah. So that brings our total up to $1,111.50. So
Great.
that's amazing, guys. Thank you so
amazing.
much.
Oh, we've done so well with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, Dal, can we update? I've done 8.5 kilometers.
8.5.
What are we at now?
So 8.5 kilometers. So we'll save that. Okay.
All right, I'll take a drink quickly.
Yeah, take a drink, darling. So you've just done the worst Nickelodeon shows, so...
All right. How you doing, Shadow?
So if you want to bring up,
Worst cartoon remakes?
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have so much to say about this show. Oh, I mean, I made a lot of mistakes with this one. Good choice. Good choice. Worst. What was it? Worst cartoon remakes?
Yeah, worst cartoon remakes.
Ugh.
Oh, he's going to have fun with this one, guys. Thanks
Oh,
for all your suggestions on ones for him to roast too. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Worst cartoon remakes. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okie dokie.
I used to do the disclaimer thing, and there really is no point. You'll notice that with a lot of my early videos, and like, there's absolutely no point. Copyright notices didn't listen to it. I did the disclaimer every video. My channel was taken down with 5 false copyright claims for like a month. So what was the freaking point of those? Like, if they know it fits into fair use, they know what they're doing. So I don't know what I was thinking with that. And again, I gotta admit again, this was another really popular video and at the time, and I did talk about Teen Titans Go, but it's a fair choice because it is a really good example of a cartoon that was remade, kind of in that sort of kiddish version of it. But I showed Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters there, and I guess technically that's a remake. Yeah, it's a remake of the original live-action movie, and it was really good. In some ways, a lot better than the original. Not that I do really love Ghostbusters, though. Really good movie. A lot of flickering in this one, which I would never allow nowadays. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, and again, we have a lot of my cringe live-action reactions where I'll be like, "Ugh." It's terrible. And I would get comments on that one particularly because it was really over the top. I thought the green screen effects I used were okay, just some stock footage crap I found on YouTube. Quackpack itself, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but I was actually a fan of this one. I was a huge fan of this at 8 years old. Mm-hmm. After 8 years old, I was just like, eh. But I actually really like the way they portray Daisy Duck. I think they do a really good job with her because before this, I feel like Daisy Duck was just basically the girl duck. That was about all the character she was given, but here she's a reporter. And I always remember when I was a kid, I was very drawn to Daisy, partially because she had the same voice actor as Sally, who was a very talented voice actor from Sonic and many other shows, who also played Lola Bunny. But also because she gave the character so much more depth than I was used to. The original Daisy's basically, hey, oh Donald, you shouldn't get angry at them. Like there was nothing, but hang
on a sec, this video isn't showing here.
Oh no, it's not showing. So make sure. Yeah, there we go. So just make sure you don't.
Sorry, guys, that was my bad.
I'm so sorry about the countdown footage as well. Like I used countdown footage that was really flickery, and this was a thing in the 90s. I recently did the SpongeBob Classic video, and we had so much flickery footage I had to cut out because before Electric Soldier Porygon, the Pokemon episode, everyone used all this horrible flickery footage, but new guidelines were established after Electric Soldier Porygon, and those kids got seizures in Japan. And Pokemon was gone for 3 months. Like, it's a miracle we still have Pokemon after that. But it really it had the crack in it. Anyway, we'll talk about the Powerpuff Girls remake. The problem with, like, I would rewatch so much of the original Powerpuff Girls, and I think it is a show that works well in that 10-minute format, but I don't know, it was much more self-aware, and I just had a lot more to say about the original Powerpuff Girls. It was kind of a new setup every episode. I mean, the city of Townsville is always under attack, but I just found myself quite bored by Powerpuff Girls remake. Yeah, Starfire from Teen Titans, that was my other issue, is that it felt very along the lines of Teen Titans Go. Like, I didn't feel a whole lot of difference, not just because of the animation style, but I just felt like, yeah. Sorry, there wasn't much I remember about, so that's the problem with Powerpuff Girls remake, is so little I remember. Extreme Ghostbusters, I feel like I picked on this show too much, because, like, it still has that same creativity that the real Ghostbusters had, where you see all these different... Definitely the writing wasn't there, but you still get a lot of creative different monsters, and you get a bunch of different characters of sort of varying types of personalities, you know, and just like... I thought it was fine. I guess this is the problem with the cartoon remakes, is I have very little to say about them, because, like, a lot of them was sort of something I just watched once or twice, and they weren't really iconic. I had a lot of very just random choices, because that's a problem with cartoon remakes, is that often they don't get much attention. They were just a 90s thing. But yeah, for Ghostbusters remakes, I don't have a ton to say on that.
Might just pause for a second, darling, and do some more
Yeah, for sure, Del.
things. So I'm going to pause your screen there. Okay, so just an update. We're currently sitting at $1,206.50.
Oh, wow. That's great. Oh, we're getting close.
It is. It's getting really close.
That's great.
Anonymous has donated $5.
Thanks, Anonymous.
And they've left us a comment saying, my son and I love watching your videos. Can you do me a small favour and say goodnight to Dalton? Thank you.
What was his name?
Dalton.
Good night, Dalton. Have a good night. Thanks very much for checking out the stream. I'll see you later.
So we've got not normal.
Oh, not
Sorry.
normal. I know.
Yeah,
know that.
not
They're
normal.
one of my members.
Yeah, so they've donated $25. Thank you. Monique Starr has donated $25.
Thanks, Monique.
She's left a comment saying, for the sake of the theme, hope you don't mind me sharing a phrase from your fellow ray of sunshine, Thomas Sanders. Could be gayer. Autumn G has donated $5.
How was it?
Autumn. So
G.
as in the
Autumn.
season, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it. Oh, I remember Autumn. Thank you, Autumn. How much? $5?
Yeah, $5.
Just making sure I've got the right count.
Yep. KK Rocks
Oh, hey, KK.
has donated $10.
Yay.
And
Thank
they've
you, KK.
left a comment saying, hi Strider, I just want to say that I've been watching your channel for many years and I'm so glad that you're still here. You are my modern day Uncle Roger.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Looney25 has donated $25.
Oh, thank you, Looney.
Thank you. They've left a comment saying, hey Strider, happy to see you can keep going with the videos and an excellent charity support. And then we've got one that's come in a few seconds ago from Alan Waters. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
Alan's donated $3. And they've left a comment saying, love your videos, Strider. Also, will you do more videos about Thomas and Friends and their movies? I absolutely loved them as a kid and still do now.
Oh, yeah, I do. A video I've often wanted to do is worst and best Thomas and Friends, but in terms of, I keep on putting it off because worst Thomas and Friends, I've talked about the worst ones so many times. Wonky Whistle. Everyone who's a Thomas fan knows that this is the worst episode. And I talk about it in fixing worst cartoon episodes because I did want to adjust, and I actually think I made some really good points in that video. The video didn't reach a lot of people, but I really put a lot of effort into that one, into trying to look at how we can improve the cartoons that we say are terrible, rather than just saying, this is bad, or Because it's crap, darling.
Because it's crap.
Why? Use your words. And I was like, if I'm going to state this...
It's really crap.
Very crap. I need to actually sort of state why, or what I can do to improve it. Because it's one thing to say, this is bad, and I'll often say with comments, if you can give some constructive criticism rather than saying, your video is terrible or something like that, that's really helpful, because that way I can improve the video and make it a better viewing experience for you. Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, shall we go on and do a bit more of your roasting, darling?
Absolutely, let's continue
Alrighty.
roasting this. To be fair, I've got nothing to say about Ghostbusters remake, so let's just enjoy the visuals for a minute. They take on a lot of demons in this show. Oh, I'm so sorry about the visuals on this part here. Way too much. Oh, Adventures of Sonic. How could I put this on the list? Oh, I love this cartoon. What was I thinking? I think, this is an awful choice. This is awesome. How could I put this on the list? Oh my god.
This is your childhood hero.
Yeah, it's my childhood hero. And to be fair, I watched both Sonic Saturn, which is the one with the really scary Eggman, and this with Long John Baldry, and Jaleel White, the voice actors. Both are really good. This is good in its own way. There is so much creativity that comes out of this show. I never know what to expect in all 62 episodes of this cartoon. Sonic Underground, I think that is legitimately boring. I can't remember anything about Sonic Underground. It just phases out of memory for me. But Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, to be fair, part of why I chose this, I just wanted to give it attention. That is sometimes something I would do, when you want to talk about a cartoon and if you talk about the best, it won't get any attention. But if you put it in the worst, people will look at that, and people will actually tune into the show. And at the time, this got 1.9 million, so I was reaching a fairly large audience. And I was like, gee, I'd love to talk about this show and sort of give it a bit more attention. But at the same time, I had to roast it. So anyway, we've got Lunatics Unleashed, which people occasionally still bring it up and get real big hits and say, this is the worst Looney Tunes, this is horrible Looney Tunes. And yeah, it is, but everyone's talked about it to death. But there just never will be another 1950s, 1960s Looney Tunes. To be fair, I'm a person who likes Space Jam, the original Space Jam. What is with my live action footage here? I'll just be sitting on the chair going, ooh. I made this rule where I had to put in at least 3 live action reactions throughout the videos. You wouldn't see that much of me, but I'd mostly be on my Blue Yeti just yammering on about these cartoons. But if I had to react to something, quite often going, whoa, it just looks so cringe when I look back on it 8 years later now. But yeah, did they have Rob Paulson in this one? Yeah, Rob Paulson got his hands in everything. He voiced Yakko, rather. Now, what did I choose for number 5? The Garfield Show.
It's Garfield.
It's Garfield lasagna. Oh, go on, Mum, just once.
It's Garfield's lasagna.
Are you sure it's not just regular Garfield?
No, it's Garfield's lasagna.
Oh, okay, alright. I rewatched this one just to make sure I was right about it, because I grew up with the original Garfield and Friends, and there's nothing special. To be fair, a lot of it is based off of comic strips and just put into animation form. But this one, I just didn't get much into. I just found it so dull, and I really didn't like the animation. That was one of the main complaints a lot of people had with it, is just that comic strip style just doesn't work with Garfield. But Paws Incorporated, the owners of Garfield, they make a lot of stuff, and Garfield is a sellout, but I was okay with Garfield being a sellout and just, I don't know, I liked him in his comic strip format, and I guess I'm a bit biased on this one, because these Garfield cartoons were my childhood. I still, over all these years, still have a couple of videos of the original Garfield 1986 movies that I'll occasionally just put on. They're just so classic. So I was so biased with this one, but I do still think that kind of claymation, it definitely falls into that category of, it's like too, what do you call it, McDonald's toy animation, where it just looks really, really plasticky and unpleasant. So it's just not a style of animation I like, I suppose. So oh my god, am I talking about Teen Titans Go again? No wonder you got sick of this, because like I talked about Teen Titans Go so much and I had so little to say about it. And yeah, I guess that's a problem with it, is that I couldn't bring much creative points I felt to it because I had so little to say about it. I would talk about different episodes and try and mix it up, and then I made a whole video about worst Teen Titans Go. And I still think those are good choices, but like at the same time, it's just like, yeah, I watch it now, and I guess the other problem is the animation is so tiring. Like, and people know the original was better, but that's not what this is actually a legitimate argument I wanted to make about it, is that the main problem is I think a lot of you and I aren't the main audience anymore. 11 to 10-year-old people who still watch cartoons are, or still watch the videos are. We're just looking back at our old favorites and saying this is bad now. We can watch the episodes, but we're not the ones buying the merchandise. You and I aren't buying Teen Titans Go merchandise. We're not the ones watching the toy ads in between the shows. So they need to add, do videos where for the audience that is still watching, and unless we're the ones watching those shows, like we'll buy Jack Skellington merchandise on Halloween, but we're not buying Teen Titans Go. So I think that's an issue of us not being the main audience anymore when it comes to that. Tom and Jerry kids I did grow up with, and I just never was a fan of this one. Like all the baby Looney Tunes and all these sort of things, it just made me think of the original cartoon and say, gee, I wish I was watching the original cartoons rather than these kind of crappy lookalikes. But clearly there was an audience in the 90s because it was just the thing of the 90s. I'd say it's one of the things I miss the least of the 90s because I'm a 90s kid. Nin and I often look back at the 90s and go, oh geez, I miss the 90s. But I look back at Tom and Jerry kids and baby Looney Tunes and I was like, why was this ever a thing? Why? What was so appealing about, to be fair, Tiny Toons was really good. That was really good. That was its own unique thing. Again, the characters were so good in that show. Babs was so good. And they were so not defined by their genders. I loved Babs. She was fantastic. Buster was really good too. I'd say of all the kind of kid versions of cartoons, Tiny Toons was probably the best of them. It was wasn't as good writing and jokes as Animaniacs, but it was still really good writing and jokes. So yeah, I think that was a legitimately, I stand by that choice. I'll have to take a toilet break shortly, darling. Can you update us to 10 kilometers? We just hit 10 kilometers.
10 kilometers.
Yo, Yogi, what were they thinking with this? This was at the start of the 90s in 1991, and it was an idea that just didn't work. And as I point out in this, I'm not a Hanna-Barbera fan. A lot of their tricks were just... the whole reason Yogi Bear has a collar and a tie is because they don't have to animate him moving his head that way. Like, that is the only reason. And when you look at it, like, why does he have a collar and tie? He's got brown down here, so why has he just got a collar and tie there? There's so many cheap methods they use to just stream out and churn out as much animation as possible. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that it got a lot of kids into cartoons. It was on when nothing else was. Like, I have nothing to say about Yo-Yogi, so this is just why I'm going on about this. Hanna-Barbera, and that's kind of why we'll say, oh, wasn't old Disney great, or oh, wasn't old Looney Tunes great, but we never say, oh, wasn't old Hanna-Barbera great? You remember Deputy Dog? You remember, Yogi Bear and how he stole remember that original episode where he stole a picnic basket? You remember that, doll?
Yeah.
He stole a picnic basket. I was like, I never expected him to do that. And I think Ranger Smith complained. But I can still make these legitimate complaints about Garfield. No, Garfield mixes it up more than Yogi Bear. So yeah, I wasn't a fan to begin with, but at least he's wearing something different. At least he is actually... Oh no, he's still wearing that stupid collar. But at least he's wearing a different costume. At least they gave him a shirt this time. They animated a shirt onto him. So, there was at least an improved in budget from the original 1970s, 1980s. Yeah. Next up, we have the dishonorable mentions, which my horrible flashy flickers.
I hated this reboot, the All Grown
Did
Up
you watch it?
Rugrats. Oh, it was terrible.
Tell me about it.
It's just terrible. Like, oh, I can't even remember it that badly because, you know, it's that unmemorable. That's how bad it was. But, oh, I loved Rugrats when I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time whenever it was on, and there was a lot about the Rugrats that I just really enjoyed. But, yeah, All Grown Up, I just did not see the point of that, and I hated it as a kid and I hated it as an adult.
You know, I will say with Rugrats All Grown Up, I always wanted kind of the satisfaction and closure of seeing them as adults. I spent like freaking 5 to 7 years seeing them as babies who didn't know better, always being pushed around by Angelica. And I'm just like, finally they grew up, and Angelica did her own thing and was a bossy kid as well. But like, you know, they all had their own distinct personalities. And now, oh wait, no, actually I think I'm not talking about... Am I talking about Ren and Stimpy Adult Party in this one? Like, I think I made that my number one choice, did I? No, those are dishonorable mentions because I didn't want to talk about it and give it the attention. Oh no, I remember what I chose. Oh no. Every single Scooby-Doo remake, which included Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Have I deleted that from the video yet? Because I think I included Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and there were these reaction videos where they literally slowed down the footage of me saying that line, then repeated it and go, what? And that sort of thing. And you know, that was a long time ago, but I still apologize occasionally. Because I stand by my thoughts, you know, on Scooby-Doo and the original. It was Hanna-Barbera. To me, it had nothing to say, but I guess compared to Yogi Bear, it had more to say. At least they were solving mysteries, at least... Yeah, but then Scooby-Doo was going hee 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 every 5 seconds, and oh boy, you mean that Shaggy likes to eat food? Again, it was just these kind of, there wasn't a lot to them, but that's the thing, is shows like Mystery Incorporated actually improved upon that formula and talked about other factors. Like, they actually came out and said that Fred in Mystery Incorporated was on the spectrum, and I was watching it with my patrons, and they legitimately said, like, you can see he's having a meltdown there. It was actually really cool, some of the additions they made. And obviously, when I say every single Scooby-Doo remake, I haven't watched them all. I tuned out, I think, after I turned 9 years old. I was just like, I would change the channel when Scooby-Doo came on, because I was like, I know what's going to happen. They're going to be chased around by ghosts in some comedic fashion. They're going to solve some mystery. It's going to be Harry the Who or whatever, you know, who was wearing a disguise and was wearing a disguise under that. And so, I don't know, I really tuned out of that. But that in itself was a really bad choice for the list. I should have picked one. Admittedly, I think there's way too many remakes of this cartoon, but I think what frustrates me more is it just got away with it for so long. And there was so much merchandising of Scooby-Doo over the years. It was their cash cow next to Tom and Jerry. For Warner Brothers now, but at the time Hanna-Barbera. I guess there's creativity in the different remakes, I guess, and I don't know. But yeah, Mystery Incorporated was legitimately good. I think that was a good cartoon upon rewatching it. I have nothing else to say about Mystery Incorporated.
You've got nothing else to say about that, darling. Are you sure?
Are
you sure?
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Well, I'm doing my silly thing here at the conclusion where I talk about how, oh, but it's all right. It's okay. I know I just talk about how bad these shows are, but it's good. It's so predictable. It's just so damn predictable. And I even reused footage there. It's terrible. These are legitimately good cartoons, though, I'm showing here. Like, this is a fair point, but I don't know. I just felt like this was all very predictable. And yes, that's all I have to say. You can pause that if you want, darling.
Okie dokie.
Can you take over for me for about 2 minutes, darling? I just have to use the little fellow's room.
Alrighty, I'm going to jump up onto the treadmill, guys, for a minute while Josh goes to the bathroom.
Okay, I'll be right back. Can you see her okay?
Of course. Alrighty. Oh, so how is everyone today? Anyway, sorry, there's no one manning the computer at the moment, but just thought I'd come up here and just say a few words while I'm just, you know, filling Josh's shoes. I'm actually not wearing shoes, just so you know, but it's a bit of fun anyway. But yeah, so this is a bit of fun for us today, just to get on camera for you and just do a bit of a live stream while we're just, raising a bit of money for LGBTQI awareness. We will show you the hotlines very shortly again soon, just so that you can re-familiarise yourself, but we do have those linked in the description of the live stream, so please do feel free to go and have a look through those. Thank you guys so much for donating as well and supporting such a great cause. It's been amazing to get behind the Trevor Project, and just with everything going on in the world these days, it's just nice to have that bit of support, so thank you. Yeah. Whew. Beautiful day outside too. Sorry, I'm not very good at talking on my feet like Josh is, but yeah, no, thank you guys for just being a part of this today. It's just been an absolute pleasure to come on board and just be here, I guess.
Thanks, Doc.
No worries, he's coming back.
All right, and we are up to 10.8, so we're nearly 11 kilometres. Okay. Thanks. What am I showing here now? I'm showing worst cartoon characters, and I'm acting like an ape. What a silly crap.
All right, I'm just going to show up those
Oh yeah, for sure.
those numbers and everything so that you guys are all aware. So just a little disclaimer, if you or someone you know needs help or support, the Trevor Project's crisis counsellors are available 24/7. You can reach a trained counsellor by texting 678 678, or you can call 1866 488 7386, or you can live chat at trevorchat.org. The link is in the description. For anyone else in America, the 988 helpline is available 24/7 and is free and confidential. Their website is 988lifeline.org. Is a crisis hotline available to all Americans and has a text and chat option too. If at any time you feel like talking to someone, there's a link in the description for you.
Yep. Should all be there. That's for anyone. All right. Yeah, and we're back.
So I'm just going to go and update this again.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure we're all up to date.
So our donations total now is sitting at $1,320.50.
Oh wow, we're doing great.
We are doing amazingly.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is awesome. So Anonymous has donated $10.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Cheers, Anonymous.
Pink Quickly has donated $1.
Thank you.
They've left us a comment saying, "Love your content. I always love to hear both your commentaries while I play games and edit videos.
I'm glad to offer them.
I'm so happy you're still around."
Glad
And
to be here.
this one's a big one, darling. So Bethany Dusk has donated $100.
Oh, thank you, Bethany.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bethany.
And then I'll walk backwards.
Yeah, so Bethany has she's left us a message saying, "Hi, just wanted to give something to help out my fellow LGBTQIA plus peoples in case they're feeling as disillusioned with the world as I am right now. Thanks for doing this stream, Strider." So thank you, Bethany. That's
Thank you,
amazing.
Bethany. Really appreciate it. Walk backwards for you.
Yeah, while he's walking backwards, Monique Starr has donated $25.
Oh, thanks. I think we mentioned Monique.
We have, plenty of time. I think she's donated a few times,
Oh,
actually.
my
So
goodness.
thank you so much, Monique.
Thank you so much.
We are so grateful for you coming in and doing that so many times.
Monique's already a patron. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Monique's left us another comment, and this one's in inverted commas.
Yeah.
So it's a quote. "I like my beer cold, my TV loud, and my homosexuals flaming." Oh, the flaming homosexual, I love it.
I do love my 90s homosexual.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for that again, Monique. That's so amazing.
I think it was an interesting point that someone brought up, because at first I was talking about what is a good and a quote-unquote bad cliche or that sort of thing, or representation of an LGBTQIA plus cartoon character. and they said that all they believe, and I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know. At first, because they said all representations are good because LGBTQIA plus people are good. I mean, there are all different types of people, and some are quote unquote stereotypes, and some are not. And I thought, I guess that's a point. I don't know why I thought of that, because I think of characters like on the autism spectrum from, say, what was it, neuroatypical, and I really dislike that character when I see them as someone on the spectrum, because I feel it is the focus of their character, it is what makes them their character, and a person isn't defined by whether they're LGBTQIA+, just as they aren't defined by being neurodivergent or on the spectrum or OCD or schizophrenic. It's a part of us, but it's not what defines us. So to me, I felt, oh, that really doesn't define them, and I thought that was a bad representation. But I guess there are characters who are quote-unquote 90s gay, and I do like flamboyant. I think flamboyant is an interesting characteristic in shows, but that's just my interpretation. So as we're talking a lot of LGBTQIA plus people, I would be curious of your opinion on that, whether all representations you think are good or bad. But yeah, that was what I was thinking on that. Oh.
Okay, so weren't quite at the 1400 that I've set here for the next roasting, but we're pretty damn close at 1370, so I might even push that through.
Yeah, for sure. What's our next?
We had a few requests for this one that I saw pop up in the chat, which is the 10
worst Disney.
Yeah, 10 worst Disney Channel shows. So we'll do that one for you guys now.
This is what I call the big three. These were the three videos that kind of put me on the map. I did worst Cartoon Network shows. What did I do? Worst Disney shows. Hold on a second, let me type this in. My multitasking shows Phantom Strider. It's actually legitimately easier for me to type it into the search bar than try and find it. Alright, worst Disney shows, Phantom Strider.
Alrighty.
But yeah, these were sort of the big three. Okay, just about ready, go.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Go.
I actually felt I was getting a little bit better at these by the time I got to these, because as I thought, these are the quote-unquote big three to me. These were kind of what got a lot of attention, because at the time I was making waves, because there weren't that many people at the time, 8 years ago, kind of doing what I was doing. Like, everyone and their dog can talk about these now, and top tens are kind of the thing of the past. Like, they don't get the interest they used to, but at the time people were really interested in my stuff. And the first point I make in this video is supposedly Disney live action actors are worse than Nickelodeon. I was like, how? I think there are their own different types of actors where they give different performances because they have different producers and directors. And then just taking a quick break, but basically, yeah, I don't think I made a good point on that. I do feel, though, a lot of the Disney actors feel like they're under a lot more pressure. When I see them, I was just like, it feels you guys are being, like under a bit more pressure to get these right, a bit more overtired, where a lot of the actors in, say, in the Nickelodeon shows felt like they were having a bit more fun on set, and I actually kind of felt bad for them on that way, but I don't know what was going on set. Those were just personal interpretations I made. So random, I thought again, it was just a random show. I felt like I didn't have any huge points to make on it, but I was just kind of making fun of it. I didn't feel, yeah, it just kind of went, and by the time I actually reviewed this, I think it was already cancelled. So it was kind of fun to make fun of a bit, but and it did give me that feeling of, what was it, Ellen? Ellen, yeah, and where I felt like it was doing a very similar model to that, where they come in and they're all clapping and dancing and that sort of thing. But I legitimately could only find one episode of this show, and the rest of what I could find was, and this is the thing, I ran into that same problem I had originally, where I couldn't actually find that much footage of the show, but people had said this is really bad. Like, and so what they did on YouTube is they uploaded a bunch of skits basically from So Random. And Too Farty was one of them, where basically the entire joke is the guy says fart instead of fort. And I don't know, I guess it's kind of racist now. I guess it's racist to the Irish. But I guess it's kind of funny. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, I just thought it was a very weak joke. So yeah, I think I'd stick by that choice. I'm sorry, there is not much to say about
Which
Too
one are we
Farty.
on?
All I can think of now is Too Farty.
Hey, Bob.
You alright, Bob?
Sorry, I just made the cat meow just before, and now I'm getting a few messages in chat saying kitty kitty. Yeah, I think my kitty wants to join too. Hope.
Hit him. Thank
Hit
you.
him.
That was
Do
a
it.
legitimately
Ah.
funny joke. They're making fun of Fred there. You're welcome, America. So, they hit Fred. Fish hooks. What I remember most about this cartoon is, like, one, I would actually take back that it's really bad or anything like that. I feel bad putting it in nowadays because I thought there was legitimate creativity that came out of this. It was in some ways trying to be another SpongeBob, but like a high school SpongeBob. Yeah, probably the most memorable part about it to me was the fact that they used the same voice actor from Rick and Morty for one of the main characters. But it's a bit like, what do you call that one I watched earlier with the clay characters? Anyway, it just gives you a bit of a slice of life of the teenage experience with some not so nice animation. I think that was the main thing that people really didn't like about it, is the animation didn't connect with people, but you can still find it on streaming services nowadays. I'm fairly certain it's on Disney Plus. It's actually surprisingly easy to find copies of this show. This was such a random... This is some of my live action reactions, which again, I had this stupid rule of I had to do like 3 or 4 of them every video, because clearly you need to see more of my silly cringe reactions. But yeah, I would probably take fish hooks off the list nowadays. I think, and it was cancelled. I'm pretty sure it was cancelled pretty quickly. So again, I hope I didn't contribute to that. I apologize. I made fun of it, and there was a lot of creativity to it. And Jesse, I gotta say it, I know I just said this, but I really liked Jesse looking back. I rewatched the show, and I was like, yeah, there's some cringe, and I always hated the fact that I took out part of the joke here, and the girl goes, she's picking her nose, and Jesse goes, well, a girl's gotta eat. I'm just like, I know it's a cringe joke, but it kind of adds to the soundbite there. So anyway, yeah, for some reason I always found myself very apologetic to these actors and characters, because I thought the concept's fine. It's basically The Nanny, which Nin is a huge fan of. She loves The Nanny, don't you?
Yeah,
Love?
it's pretty fun.
It's like a teen version of The Nanny. There's nothing really wrong with it. And my only complaint was that Jessie constantly looked like she needed to pee, which, but she's taking the kids out and having a good time, and that kid totally does something there and enjoys it. It totally did that for that. That's right, I was dancing to the song. Oh, that's so cringe. Oh, that's horrible. What was I doing? Oh, I look back on these and cringe. Oh. Oh dear. But anyway, yes, no issues with Jesse nowadays. Again, I wouldn't have much of a list, because I would take a lot of these off the list and say I guess the problem, I don't like to make fun of live action shows nowadays. Henry Danger I legitimately can, because I feel like I can point at the structural integrity of that show and say, why is this all these legitimately bad jokes based on with canned laughter that just doesn't work. But Jesse I look at, and at least they're telling a story, a narrative, and making an adventure. And that's the thing, is these shows, even if they aren't funny, they're interesting, and I really like the fact that there wasn't as much canned laughter in these Disney shows. So back then, I didn't have a proper camera. I was just doing it all from my stupid Samsung Galaxy S2 smartphone, which I got before I left for the Navy. So that was back in 2012. So the camera quality was abysmal. You can still kind of sort of make out me there, but actually, so it could be worse quality for what 2012 in terms of video quality on the camera. Anyway, this again wasn't even really a show. I just kind of picked these out of a hat. I legitimately could have made a list of like top 10 worst random Disney clips I found on the YouTube based on a show. Oh yeah, that's right. This was basically about finding random Disney celebrities and saying, oh, what if our fans met them? What if a fan met them? How would they secretly meet them, or something like that? And I guess the concept's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's basic, like, I look at something like, what was it, Gogglebox, and which is just basically people watching TV, and I thought, this is way more creative than that. Like, it's just people watching TV on Gogglebox, and that is legitimately a better concept, but it just wasn't executed too well and wasn't to the right audience. So, Austin and Ally, there's a lot of legitimate fans of this show, and I remember I picked on it again in the worst Disney on live actions on my other channel, Live Strider. I don't stand by a lot of those videos, by the way. I look back at my Live Strider videos and I'm like, how did you put up with me? How did you put up with me? Like I just did not do my research on those. And yeah, it has some cringe jokes, and I remember that actor. Oh my goodness, that's that actor who we see nowadays in BoJack Horseman. I'm almost certain that's the actor from Community as well. I'm pretty sure that is. That's really cool. It's cool to see her early on. Oh wow, I was really ahead on the curve with Donald Trump jokes. How did I even know about Trump back then? Jeez. Because this was back in what, 2005? 2006? It was a long time ago. So yeah, I was very ahead of the curve on that joke. Yeah, the acting wasn't great on this one, but I'm sorry, I just have very little to say about this one. Let's just appreciate the live action actors cringe. I'm gonna have a drink. So I have nothing else to say about this one.
Stay hydrated.
Thank you. How you doing, doll?
I'm doing all right.
Okay, I'm at 12 kilometers, just about 12.
12 kilometers. Excellent. We'll update that.
Where are we at?
So,
two more eggs. This was made by the guys who did Strong Bad. Brothers Chaps. Yeah. Again, this was a lot of creativity to this show. I feel like I had more of a point with it because I wish they'd gone back to doing Strong Bad. But yeah, it was an idea. It was a fair idea. There's a lot of random clips. What were we going to say, darling?
Sorry, I just paused that for a second there for some reason. But anyway, it's all good. Keep going.
Yeah, but two more eggs didn't even last that long. And here, Brothers Chaps are legitimately trying to do crackagami. They're just sort of picking out bits and playing in their backyard. All right, Bob, you come on up. Are you okay, Bob? Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to get to Mum.
He just wants to get to you.
He's going to meow into the microphone, guys, just so you know. See, there you go. He's right here.
This is Shadow. He's an orange cat. He's the one who makes it to my Twitter all the time.
Yeah. He's our very talkative boy.
I should post more to YouTube community chats, community nowadays. I don't post nearly as much there as I used to, but I guess with YouTube community, I like to do posts there, but I like them to be really, really important or really, like, unless I really have a message to say, like, this is a really cute cat picture, or it would be great if you guys voted or something like that. You're right there, Bob.
He's just saying hello, and he loves everybody else too. Like everyone is saying, we love you, Shadow. Hi, Shadow. I love a chatty cat. Hi, Nin. Hello, everyone. Awesome cats. Hello.
You know, I have nothing to say about this show. Why don't we read some comments?
I love you, Bob.
Love you, Bob.
Kibby has so much to say. Chatty kitty. Yeah, he is. He loves a good conversation.
Okay actor.
Sorry?
I thought this kid was a fair actor. The one that was on here was very young. He did an okay performance. Yeah, Bob. Do we have any chats or comments asking any questions?
We did have a couple of funny questions here.
Oh, yeah.
So, Chris Ryder, he asked a while ago, where is Boo?
Where is Boo? He's upstairs. Yeah, that's where he is. Yeah, he's haunting upstairs. He's camera shy. Yeah, because clearly Boo is camera shy. You know, clearly, given how much he's on the show, he's camera shy. Good question.
Yeah, very good question. Well, I mean, Boo is part of the channel, and he's very important. So you know, it's only fitting that question gets asked.
Well, he's legitimately in like the 5 pixels of avatar that you see on the channel art.
And a while ago, in the chat, Star Blaze also asked, how many orange shirts do you have? Or is that just the same one?
No, I have 7 orange shirts. That's a very fair question. This one is actually a slightly darker orange to what I normally wear. I normally wear this ones in half marathons and in the mountains and stuff because it's a lighter weight material than what I use on the videos. I have 3 sets of orange shirts that I use on the videos that are all like, I never use them for anything else because I don't want them to get sweat stained or anything like that. So I can use them for the next 10 years or however I'm able to be on YouTube. So I have them because I can't actually find them anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get 3 of these.
I've just got somebody asking what chats are being read. So I'm actually reading the live chats from the computer here. So that's where we're getting these questions from. So feel free to pop a question in the chat that you're in now.
I just have so little to say, and I feel like I have a terrible commentary on these because I have so little to say, and I don't want to make fun.
That's okay. We've got a question from Icy Lady. What was the funniest video you both recorded? What do you think, darling?
Oh, that's a tough one. Shit. This beautiful lady has made me laugh so many times. Oh. And like that's the thing is I will often sort of take some of the edits that have the most nin in them because I'll just be like, this makes me laugh so much. I don't know. What would be your favorite, doll?
Oh look, there's so many. There is so many that we've done that we've had so much fun with. But I think some of the funnest ones are, just some of the food ones where they've just been really, really crappy service.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's even some comments, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I come out with incredible one-liners sometimes, and Josh actually works them into the script sometimes. Like in the most recent SpongeBob video, there was one there that where Patrick was like, I'm a starfish, see ya. And the whole basis around that was I actually was just sitting there looking at a Google picture that had a starfish on it, and it just went off the screen, and I was on the phone to Josh at the time, and it's like, I'm a starfish, see ya.
It was just like, well, it was on screen, but now it's gone. I guess it was like, I'm a starfish, see ya. It means nothing, but to us, for some reason, it was funny. Really funny. So Patrick, at one point, she goes, and then he goes. I'm a starfish, see ya. And there were other ones, like there's one video, I think, where I'm talking about a really serious topic. What was it again? I'm talking about foods that could disappear, which most people didn't watch anyway. But at the end, I really love that I've got the pug in there when Nin goes,
yeah, pug.
Yeah, pug. And that's just like one of our most common sayings. For some reason, Nin and I were watching, we just saw a picture on a Google ad that was a picture of a pug. And Nin goes, it's a doggy.
It's a doggy.
And I go, yeah, it's a pug.
We've got a question from Zachary. Sorry if I say this wrong, Zachary Beechaw. He says, who does the artwork for both you and Nin?
It comes from two people. I mentioned in the credits of every video. It comes from Dree Higby. The original artwork of me comes from Dree Higby. He did a fantastic job with that. Charlie does the other artwork. He does an amazing job with Nin. Perfect. One of my favorite things you see going there. Drake actually did the animation together of making Nin in VTuber, but Charlie did the original animation, and he so well captures the sort of how I see Nin myself and charm of Nin so well, and it goes so well with her voice. One of my favorite parts of the show. As silly as it may sound, aesthetically, I just think Nin is done so well. I've been trying to make the shift over to Charlie's animation more because I do like his charming style with my own animation, but I'm still using a lot of Dree's because he has a very, very charming style as well. You'll find in a lot of my shorts, like that viral short that took off, that uses Dree's style, which I still think is really legitimately fantastic. So yeah, that's long story long.
Game Queen says, have you ever been to the US?
Yes, when I was 2, I went to Disneyland there. I don't know if I'd go again based on the way things have been going lately, and just, I don't know, 60% went that way or however it works. I'm not going to go there, but I don't feel safe with Nin and me going there right now.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. That's my personal opinion. I'm struggling with what to think of the world right now after some recent events, so that's just me.
Lacey Ferguson says is asking about who your favourite Powerpuff Girl villain is.
I am going to say, I like all three. Blossom, I like that I relate to all three, and I think that's the magic of the Powerpuff Girls that was captured, is that we relate to all three parts of them. Buttercup is a bit of our ids when we have sort of like, I want to beat him up or something like that, and but Bubbles is also that cute side. Some people relate more to Bubbles, that kind of sweet side, and I just realized that they're basically like the superego, the ego, and the id, if you were to quote Freud, which he doesn't know crap in psychology, but there are legitimate points. Anyway, I'm getting way too complicated with this. Yes, I would say I can't choose one, but I kind of tend to relate more to Blossom, because she'll say things like, I like decorating the tree. I always remember this really silly interview I read in like a Cartoon Network K-Zone 90s book, a magazine from years ago, where they did like a quote-unquote interview with the Powerpuff Girls and asked what they liked on Christmas. I'm sorry, I've got to comment on this because we're talking about... you're seeing this Miley Cyrus in front of you, darling.
It's pretty gross, go on.
Oh, it's horrendous. It's just like, Miley Cyrus... To be fair, I was looking at a Miley Cyrus interview recently, and I really do respect nowadays how much she is just unabashedly herself in her interview. She's unapologetic, and I thought, what am I doing making fun of this woman? Like, what right do I have to make fun of this? I would never add Miley Cyrus nowadays. I legitimately don't like Hannah Montana. I think the shtick is stupid. But at the same time, this is the problem. This is why I wouldn't make these lists nowadays. I've changed as a person and what I'm willing to make fun of nowadays. But Hannah Montana has brought so much joy. Like, Nin liked Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
What did you like about Hannah Montana, darling?
I don't know, it was just charming. It was just a very charming thing to watch when you were a teenager. I just really enjoyed it, but anyway.
Did you like the kind of the fantasy of secretly being a superstar?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a bit of fun, bit of, like that hidden sort of life kind of thing, but nothing in a bad way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a bit of fun, so...
The cool thing about it is you can kind of sneak away to do your own thing, and if the character...
But she still gets to be a kid too, so she gets the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, yes. And so, I felt my points with that weren't great, but... and again, I'm doing my conclusion here. I'm going, well, it's okay. These are all right. These is okay. It's just a show. So, I still can't stand the structure of these old videos that way. And I gotta point out, I did not even talk about these Disney shorts, these Mickey Mouse shorts, yet for some reason I felt the need to put them there. Yeah, anyway. Do we want to double check if there's been any donations, Sweetie Pie? We'll throw some bubbles about.
Okay. So we've hit $1,435.50.
Oh my goodness, we're nearly, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So Michelle has donated $10 11 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Michelle. She says, love this idea for a stream. Need a distraction as of recently. You two are the best. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
That's awesome. We've had an anonymous donation for $50.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Anonymous has said, if anyone else knows about the living ants, the moving ants, you look closer at the water, it's hair. Don't let it get under your mouth roof plate. You can clean.
Moving ants?
Yeah, but it's not designed to be removed. It's not safe outside anymore.
So are we talking about ant problems? Because I can tell you about
I don't know.
Well, Shaka's reacting
I'm
to the
very, very confused by that.
If you are having an ant problem, best thing to do is to there's things like ant reds rather than using because they're attracted to sugars. So if you get something like ant red, that will actually I'm trying to tell them how to fix their pest control problems.
But bubbles, come on.
Bubbles, yay! I should walk backwards for a bit for
Oh, they can't hear you when you're talking when you walk backwards.
Oh, can't they? Okay.
No.
Oh, sorry. In that case, I'll walk this way. But for your ant problems, I would recommend you look at the ant section of your grocery aisle for pest control. For about $5, $4, you can probably get some ant rid, which is basically a little spread of stuff you put on your counter or where the ant trail is. And if you put that out, the ants will take the food, the poison, and they'll bring it back to the ant queen, which will destroy the colony at its core. So that's your best way to actually remove ants. So that is to answer the donation question. If you were referring to ants, which you probably weren't, but there you go.
Anywho, Brian Felser has also donated $5.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Ryan. So he's left us a message saying, I grew up with you and your great content has inspired me. The kindness that you've shown has inspired me to improve myself as a person, not to mention how amazing it is to find another person with Asperger's that review things I like. Please make more movie reviews.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the donation, Ryan. I should do more movie reviews nowadays. I should bring that to Patreon bosses and see what they say, because I don't know, the problem, part of why I don't do movie reviews is I feel like there's already much better critiquers already reviewing movies. Like Doug, for example, reviews every movie under the sun, and he has more insight and detail into it than I do. And I'm sure James reviews movies as well. There's tons of already good people on Rotten Tomatoes who review movies, and I never feel like I can bring a unique take to it. And cartoons and SpongeBob and food, and I don't know, when I get into food and stuff, I feel like I have a little bit more of a unique take of it, and it's less of a bloated field, because sometimes YouTube is about finding the field that is least bloated and where people find the most interest. I would be happy to talk about movies, like, but it really depends if there was much interest. Yeah.
It's a nice little segue into a question from Zodiac Blade. Do you plan to do another video with Nostalgia Critic sometime in the future?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I actually legitimately talked to Doug about this video, basically asking him what he used for a stream software and that sort of thing. And he mentioned that Heather did a lot of the work and introduced me to Heather and that sort of thing. I don't think there was any issue me disclosing that. Heather openly mentions her name and stuff on streams and stuff, and Heather runs her own channel and does a fantastic job with those streams, because Doug does a lot more streams now too, just answering questions and stuff. So yeah, and that's how I got some advice from them on this sort of thing, so that's good. But I will definitely bring him back. I'm not sure what for. I'm thinking if we do that infomercial idea or stupidest commercials. I really would like to go back and do right now because I just did a patron goal video for $1,000 or whatever it was for classic SpongeBob's. That was the whole reason I produced that 1 hour 15 video. So I would like to go on and do something that's creative, like got a bit more just random and unexpected. I like to offer you variety when I can, basically, where you don't really know what's going to come at you. And one video I really enjoyed doing looking back was things people did 100 years ago but are illegal today. I thought that was such a fun concept. And originally what I wanted to do was things that people did 1,000 years ago that are illegal today. Because imagine the crazy stuff you get. So that was a really cool thing I wanted to do. But there wasn't much interest in that. But there was interest in things that were illegal 100 years ago but aren't today. And just off the top of my head, I could think of one that witchcraft was technically illegal 100 years ago. Even I think in our modern legislation in Victoria, in my country, Australia, it was illegal till 2005. And obviously you aren't likely to get a policeman pulling you over, going to find a coven in the forest, you know, the Agatha Harkness sort of situation, like a bunch of girls, oh, you girls in here using the Ouija board, how dare you, sort of like, you're coming with me to the clink for witchcraft. But that's kind of crazy stuff you get back then. In the days of modern medicine, science, and all these other things, like it isn't as common. It does still happen, but you know, a lot of this stuff has just been removed. So I just thought there's so many fun creative ideas you can get that will let us look back over the last 100 years. Also, I find kind of that slightly eerie, unique feeling to footage from, say, 100 years ago so cool. I love sort of transporting us back in time. Nin and I are big fans of sort of time travel and that sort of things, and I just sort of love taking you back there. By the way, Del, I'm up to 14 kilometers.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. Okay. So we've got a question from Awesome Magic Star Love Girl. They want to know, how did we meet? So we've sort of touched on this anyway, but Josh and I actually met on Facebook through a meetup sort of singles group kind of thing, where he posted an ad on there basically
saying, this is the type of person I'm looking for.
Yeah, and I basically responded, and you know, we sort of chatted on Facebook for a while before
The nice thing about, I don't think you mind disclosing this, I had actually had a couple of people message me, and I got a feel for each person through Facebook. And the nice thing about Facebook is you get their full profile, so you get to take a good look at people. And back in the day anyway, we used to post everything on Facebook. So you'll meet the people who are putting posts on such and such, and people will post like, I don't like this, don't ask why. I don't like this, don't ask why. And you kind of pick the person you're looking for on that. Are you looking for someone who's kind of digging up drama all the time on small, tiny things? Or are you looking for someone who's something else? You know, you don't know. But you can pick the type of person you want to find as a partner very well if you look on Facebook. And I look at all these dating sites we've got now, and like, I don't want to give more traffic to Facebook, but it is a legitimately good source. And I met the love of my life on there. And at the same time, I've had a heart condition, and I have a community group on there that can talk about heart support and that sort of thing, who've had similar surgeries and operations to me. You know, like there's a lot of support services available on there. You just got to use the tool right. And I think that is something to mention. And I've had Facebook groups like my humanist group on there, where I could help people on there on Facebook. So as much as we like to sort of throw mud at Facebook, which I totally get, because there's a lot of stress scrolling on there, and the algorithm is sort of aimed against it and trying to feed on human misery, I do think there's some good parts to Facebook. Anyway.
But yeah, so that's how we met. And then we've got a question from the Kiwi Thomas fan. They're asking, are there any more Thomas videos coming out soon? I love these videos so much, but not as much as your SpongeBob videos.
Let me know if you have any good topics. The problem I've had with Thomas is I've wanted to cover Thomas more for years because Shadow's coming up to see you, Dal.
Hello,
Hey,
darling.
Bob.
Yes, sweetheart.
Come on over.
You sit there then.
The problem I've had with Thomas is that I just don't know the show as well as a lot of people. It's very popular among people on the spectrum, and something about the show just really connects with a lot of people on the spectrum. Personally, I don't have much of an interest, despite being on the spectrum. I don't have an interest in trains, but I do really like the show. So, but I can't find a topic that I think would bring something new, because there's so many Thomas fans who I can talk to on social media who are so much more experienced than me on talking about the subject, and I'm like, what can I do that's different to them? Like, for example, I did Darkest Thomas episodes because I legitimately think I love when I get a title that is just laugh. It's silly just by hearing the name. You're like, what a stupid concept. Why would anyone do a video on that? And like, that's perfect. So, like when I would, for example, do cataclysmically abysmal, earth-shattering, destroyingly terrible Peppa Pig episodes, Nina's legitimately hearing that and laughing. That's what you want. So even if 99% of people don't click on my video, I give them a laugh. That's what you want. And that's kind of what I love to do. So I love to have those silly topics like Darkest Thomas the Tank Engine. It's Thomas the Tank Engine. And I kind of play it up and say, oh, the Fat Controller is really secretly evil. And that sort of thing. Yeah, if I could find a funny concept that I could kind of do, just a silly, very different take, like, I don't know, it's gotta be more general. I don't want to do like Best Percy episodes or something, because 2 people will watch it. Then I try to aim for more than 2 people watching my videos. Like, so yeah, that's my take on Thomas. If I can find a good concept, which I've put so much brain power into doing with Thomas the Tank Engine, that I will discuss it gladly. Yeah.
Alright. Just want to do a quick update. We're at $1,610.50.
Goodness, we're getting so close. 1,600, did you say?
Yes, $1,610.50.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
this is amazing, guys. And, you know, like, the donations that are coming through are ridiculous. Like, Raki, who has just donated a few seconds ago. Sorry if I've said your name wrong there, Raki. But they've donated $100.
Oh my goodness.
So that's amazing.
I'm going to walk backwards for a bit.
We've got Blue2x2x, who has donated $50. We got to do some bubbles here too. And Blue2x2x has said, with the work you did on the channel and for the LGBTQ plus people, I want to help out in some way. This is a perfect opportunity. Thank you, Josh's wife and everybody. No, thank you. No, thank you for being a part of it. We are absolutely just, you know, so happy that you guys have tuned in, and you guys are part of it too. We never expected it. It's just amazing, you know.
Absolutely amazing.
So, you know, all the bubbles in the world, we love you guys. Anonymous has donated $15.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Anonymous.
Jadis Doe has donated $10. And they've
What was the name, sorry?
Jadis Doe.
Thank you, Jadis.
And they've said, love all the help you're giving us, Strider. So glad you're still on YouTube. So thank you, guys. This is amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to still be here.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's pick a really terrible video for me to
What would you
for
like,
me to make
darling?
fun of. Actually, could I commentate like a food one or video or something? Or,
Yeah. Which one would
actually,
you
maybe I
like?
could do worst SpongeBob.
So
Because that was like the first SpongeBob video I did. I'm actually thinking of making like a SpongeBob saga video, because a couple of people have been asking for compilation videos, and I kind of shy away from doing videos that are just a compilation, but I thought maybe I could add new commentary to them or something like that and give my current thoughts, because I've been covering SpongeBob.
Do you want to
for
do
about-
that one?
Yeah, that one with a really ugly thumbnail. Let me just add it on here myself. I'll talk about that one. One sec. Worst SpongeBob. SpongeBob. Here I am. Here I am.
Here I am.
3, 2, 1, go. So, I think some of these choices are still perfectly legitimate. This video was made 7 years ago, but I don't like the fact that I'm kind of not giving... to be fair, back then, we were closer to season 6 or 8 of SpongeBob, which was kind of what many know as the dark age of SpongeBob. So, at the time, things were looking kind of grim for SpongeBob, and Nickelodeon was cancelling a lot of legitimately good shows. So, it's been turned down. I did only 6 for this one. I kept it nice and short and simple and straightforward. And of course gave my disclaimer of, if you like it, that's great. Which I still think is a perfectly good... It's still, for some reason, such a... it's always been sort of appreciated by people in the community, because I think people in the cartoon community can often get very varied in their opinions, and sometimes you do need to sort of remind yourself, well, if you like it, that's fine. Who are you really hurting? But the Splinter, I actually just talked about this one recently because there was artwork put out, like actual toys put out of SpongeBob with his Splinter. I can't see why he has such a hard time getting it out, though. But it itself is just such a gross concept with the Splinter. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with it, but to be fair, they've never produced an episode like it again that I can think of, where they talk... Like, he doesn't get a boil or something like that in a season 12 episodes. They kind of learnt their lesson with this. But I am correct that the anatomy of SpongeBob doesn't make sense for this. Like, he doesn't have blood. I've never seen SpongeBob have blood. Kind of the fun thing they kind of draw attention to in recent SpongeBob episodes particularly is that SpongeBob is kind of invulnerable. If he gets cut in half, he'll just come back as 5 more sponges. Like, yeah, there wasn't much to say about that one, other than, ew, gross. SpongeBob, you're fired. I've actually had some updated thoughts on this, which, it occurred to me that since SpongeBob has been stated to be on the spectrum, this kind of makes sense. I'm not saying it's the best reaction, and he has reacted better in the future, but often people on the autism spectrum are very in their routine. In case you haven't heard, Tom Kenny said that SpongeBob, yes, of course he's on the spectrum in an interview, so it's kind of legitimately SpongeBob's on the spectrum. He was a close friend of Steven Hilberg, so I'm taking canon. But yeah, when I see his reaction, it does make me think a lot of people on the spectrum, not all, but a lot of people are very hesitant to change and changes in routine. And SpongeBob clearly gets a lot of joy from his routine of going to work at the Krabby Patty and frying burgers. That's what he likes doing. He knows he's good at it. He makes a lot of people happy with it. That's what he enjoys. He has his routine. And I think you could call this a case of SpongeBob just being completely thrown out by his routine. And so, even though I say this is completely out of character for SpongeBob, yes, in some ways it is. He doesn't normally show himself. Yeah, but at the same time you can clearly see that SpongeBob is very in his routine. So that was my updated thoughts on that. I felt like, I don't like how SpongeBob is portrayed there, but I get being on the spectrum and being caught in your routine a bit and being very upset emotionally by a change in the routine. I think a lot of people on the spectrum could relate to that, so yeah. And in this episode, Patrick just shows what we all know Patrick to be. Terrible, not a great friend. I personally have a thing against Patrick. If you've watched one of my SpongeBob videos, you've probably seen that, where I'm not a big fan of him. I think he, when SpongeBob has Sandy around, I don't get why he spends a lot of his time with Patrick. But that being said, I was recently watching, obviously, the first season SpongeBob episodes, and I realized why Patrick and SpongeBob became a thing. Because they legitimately had a good chemistry together in early seasons. SpongeBob, Patrick wasn't portrayed as quite as stupid as he is in these seasons. He's not so dangerously stupid that he's like legitimately hurting people. He's kind of still got a little bit of common sense, and it's kind of beautiful when they play together in early seasons because it's such a simple friendship where they just help each other, they just hang out, and that is one of the fundamental parts of a friendship, of just spending time together, talking together, that's it. And this episode, Demolition Doofus. People don't talk about this one that much, and I think because it's just so out of character. It's actually one of my least favorite episodes in the show, purely because it is just, they get so much wrong. It's all about the suffering of Mrs. Puff, and I've just never quite got that. Why, for a long time, that was a thing. Why would you make her, like, actually really physically hurt from SpongeBob? She, at the start of the season, I was rewatching the first Mrs. Puff episode recently, and I was like, yeah, you want to show her suffering, but you don't know, can't even say that. You want to show she's an earnest teacher who is trying but just can't get through to SpongeBob and actually properly teach him. You know, it's in code that SpongeBob never can learn to be a proper driver. He'll never drive because that was a request by Mr. Hilberg himself, and so we'll all respect that. I suppose he's got Uber nowadays. He's got Uber. But yeah, but so I didn't like this one and how it tried to make her out to actually legitimately want to kill him. That was a step too far, and the creators have gone back on that nowadays in episodes like the Sponge Haters Club, where they all come together and say their motto: we don't want to hurt SpongeBob, we just can't stand him. We don't wish him any harm, we just can't stand him. So nowadays they've gone back on that, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And Stuck in the Ringer is one of the most famous ones because people often just can't stand that scene. One, it's SpongeBob torture as the Scumball Wiki. Hey honey, can you say, it's a SpongeBob torture episode?
It's a SpongeBob torture episode.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, as the Scumball Wiki would say to us. And it's a perfectly fair point. It's a lot of just suffering on SpongeBob's part and his frustration. Why would we want to see him stuck or disabled? There's just no joy in that. And people really don't like the fact that he's made to feel embarrassed and upset in this scene, where he's in a legitimate situation to feel frustrated. People don't get that episode, so I would keep that one on the list. Nan and I have actually reviewed it one time together, and she wasn't particularly impressed. I remember at one point you go, "Oh, now they're both stuck." Oh yeah, but no, I wasn't a fan of this one. I didn't even have that much footage to show of it. Like, it was just a bad episode overall, and somehow he gets out by crying. Where's the logic in that? In some ways, they're kind of lampshading the whole thing. I did throw in a few dishonorable mentions. Interestingly, this one is, A Power for Gary is the most hated episode in the entire series, according to IMDb. It has the lowest ranking, I think about 2. So yeah, and Squid Bob Tentacle Pants doesn't get a lot of attention. It's just kind of a grotesque subject, concept of them being kind of stuck together. I think this episode is given way too much flack, truth or square. I legitimately think it's one of the biggest signs that Patchy the Pirate is on the spectrum, and I had someone mention in my Twitter comments that Patchy the Pirate was on the spectrum. I was like, of course he is. Why did I not see this before? And I remember showing in a scene of him where he does a sort of, oh, and I was like, that is exactly what I would do. And of course we have One Course Meal, which is probably the most over-talked episode or bad episode in the series. Because, yeah, it is very memorable in the fact that Plankton is just made to suffer, and it is ironic people just give so much love to Plankton here, and it really shows that all the characters in this show, we don't hate them, we don't dislike them. Like, even though Plankton's technically the villain, we still like him. You know, we still have episodes as early as season 1 where, like FUN, where he is trying to take over a new leaf, and SpongeBob's trying to give him another chance and say, you can have a friend. And that's the thing about SpongeBob, is like, we like all the characters in the show, bar maybe Bubble Bass, but even then we don't want him to suffer. And you know, I think we've got a lot of gentle people here in this community around SpongeBob, and that's part of what attracts me to it. And I don't know, when it comes to SpongeBob, I've just got so much to say. When I'm writing a food video or something like that, what do I say? Or what does this person say on it? What do they think of the taste? And I love doing food videos, but when I do SpongeBob, I'm just like, I literally legitimately did like all those, all 42 of those episodes over about 2 weeks in the script. I just wrote because I had so much to say on SpongeBob. I know what the characters are going to do. I believe I know what the characters are going to do. I know how they'll react. SpongeBob is like my soul character. I love him as a character. I relate so much to him, you know, so yeah, like I have a very easy time when it comes to SpongeBob lists, which is part of why I do always bring him back. Are we at 15 kilometers on there, Darren? But about 15.5.
Okay, I'll just update that.
What were we at?
We're at 14. 15.5 is good though.
Nearly 16.
Well done, darling.
Thank you. Yeah, we're getting there. Getting very close. Where our goal is 21.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone who's chatting in the chat. There's been some really beautiful comments just thanking us for supporting this this cause for the Trevor Project. We're just really happy to be a part of it, honestly, and just be able to help the LGBTQI plus community. So thank you guys for just tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your donations, and just thank you for supporting us.
As well as thank you so much for the donations to such a good cause. Thank you for just being here, because it's not, as I mentioned before, it's not just about the money, it's also about giving attention and acknowledgement and welcoming the LGBTQIA community and reminding them, regardless of what political power is in power, you are welcome. You
Absolutely.
are still completely welcome here and valid here. And I'm so sorry if you have suffered recently. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, I have to put something out. I have to do something. If I have any platform, I have to put something out. So yeah, anyway, without me going on, that was basically what was going through my mind. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you've been writing down a lot there, darling. Is there some interesting chats or something? Or?
Oh, just some funny questions that I just saw popping up during the chats. Ruby Wiley asked, how did you and Boo meet?
I met him in the forest.
You were on one of your many random runs in the forest, and
I met him
there was this really weird ghost guy just chilling in the forest, so he decided to say, hey, Boo.
Hey, Boo.
Do you want to come for a run? And Boo decided, yeah.
Well, I met him at Minecart, what was it, Hellhole Mountain? I'm trying to remember the name of the, you remember Ghost Hole Mountain?
Yeah.
Who was there? I went to the bottom there and I got to the mine, you know that mine shaft I showed you?
Yeah.
Well, Boo was there and I said, oh, so there are ghosts. He says, no, I'm the only ghost. Well, he struggled with talking back then. He was like, nah. So, but eventually he would later tell me that there aren't actually ghosts. There's no such thing as ghosts except him.
Yeah.
He's the only ghost. So, there aren't actually ghosts except Boo. He's the only ghost.
Yeah.
And amazingly, his animation also improved.
Yeah.
Dree actually does the animation for Boo, but Charlie has taken over some animation for Boo. But yes, he has magically learnt to talk. There was an episode probably about a year to 2 years ago. I think it was actually one of the Lego ones. I really miss Lego, by the way. Lego was a big thing for a while in terms of, not with me, but with popular culture. But nowadays people enjoy Lego still, but they go, why is it so expensive? When we go to Lego community chats and stuff, I'll often find the top comments is, the scariest thing about Lego is how expensive it is. And that's the problem with a struggling economy all around the world. It's harder and harder to legitimately say, hey, I'm going to spend $200 on this set. And it's heartbreaking because if your kid really likes Lego, which a lot of kids we know are, your niece and nephew, love Lego, absolutely love it. And it's hard because some of these sets they really want are gigantic, and of course Lego's going to charge $300 for that set. I don't know what goes on there or how butadiene, styrene, whatever it is so expensive, because the knockoff versions are much cheaper. So I don't know what's going on there, but I do really like the quality of Lego. I like what they stand for, and I like that they do maintain quality, but they've got to make those prices more economically friendly, because I don't know if Lego still sells super well. It probably does, but in terms of pop culture, there's not as much interest when I look on YouTube. A lot of the Lego channels I know, I love the Lego community as well. I'm sorry to go on a tangent about Lego, but I don't get a chance to talk about it very often. A Like, I really wish I could do more Lego videos. I just love talking Lego. I just think it's such a fun, silly concept. And every Lego YouTuber I have met or seen, I have liked. Almost every single one I have liked. I think there's cartoon community people I don't get along with that well, but Lego, I get along with everyone. So yeah, I would love to talk more Lego, but I just don't get a chance anymore because there was so little interest in the last Lego video. I was like, oh, I can't talk about Lego anymore. Not enough interest. But that being said, if my bosses on Patreon say, hey, make a Lego video, I will. I will do it with delight. Any other questions, beautiful?
There has been a fair few questions basically directed at me and Boo in regards to the Hello Kitty Church.
Oh yeah, good old.
Yes, we still attend the Hello Kitty Church, and yes, we would love for you to come along.
Let's go see it. You do
Let's go see it.
It's the Hello Kitty Church.
It's the Hello Kitty Church. Let's go see it. No, it's that is awesome. Like, you know, very much a lot of fun for us. We haven't sort of interluded that into the videos for a while.
And
so
it's one of my favorite things. Fun thing I would always love to see is that at first I was very nervous introducing a new person into Phantom Strider because they're not that used to new people and that sort of thing. But I loved it. Sometimes I would see retention spikes when Nin came in with Boo and Hello Kitty and had their Hello Kitty shirts and stuff on. And I guess I would always laugh. So they're some of my favorite jokes. And whenever I was discussing something really serious, I would say, hey, how's Hello Kitty going? And you'll come on with, it's a Hello Kitty shrine.
It's a Hello Kitty shrine. Let's go see it.
Fine, we can go to America to see Hello Kitty shrine, or Japan or China or wherever it was. And I legitimately asked Nin to start up the Hello Kitty church channel because there actually already was one. And as I said, it is a legitimate religion.
Yeah, it is.
But,
it does.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a really good religion of choice because it doesn't discriminate against people. They're really nice to people. Like, they're very LGBTQIA friendly and that sort of thing. Like, no, I love the Hello Kitty church. I think it's really cool. Good question.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Let's go see it. So we've got the King of Electricity asked, would you make a video on Community or even more Futurama?
Futurama I've considered covering again because there's so many modern episodes of it. I feel like I'm such a product of the times, though. I feel old when I say it, but I didn't enjoy the new episodes as much as the old. I found, because original Futurama was obviously the first video I ever did. Best Futurama episodes, one of the first videos, was the first top 10 list I did, and why I stuck around. And I just did it because I had so much episodes and things I wanted to talk about on this show I liked, and I couldn't really find anyone else talking about it. So I was just, because it was like 2005. YouTube was a very different place back then, as I've said. And legitimately, like, it was my comfort show. And I can still go back to some of those episodes. Not all of them have aged great, as you would probably guess, or would probably also agree with on some episodes. But yeah, I haven't really been drawn into the new episodes, but I should watch all of them through. You know, you and I should watch those through.
What's that one? Sorry, Darling?
The new Futurama episodes.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Futurama?
Oh, I've certainly watched bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've ever watched it like fully through, but
yeah,
definitely watched quite a fair few of the episodes and really enjoyed it. It's one of those shows that I think is very underloved in a way, but it's so, like, it's good. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going to call it underloved. It is fantastic, you are right, but it is one of the most well-loved cartoons in the world. I would say it's fair. It's a bit of a cult status, but it is legitimately appreciated by many, I think. So anyway, yeah, we should watch that through, and that would be really cool to bring back kind of a nod to the 10-year anniversary of my original video. Oh, 16.5 by the way.
Okay, 16.5. We've got a question from Random Edits. What are your thoughts on the SpongeBob musical?
I think it's one of the best musicals I've seen. I think it's one of the funniest musicals I've seen. I love the choices they use for the characters. I love the choices for Sandy, Plankton, Pearl. I love the choice for SpongeBob. I love in the movie version they brought back actual Patchy the Pirate. It's one of the... Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Really a lot of fun, and I think if you don't like musicals, I don't think it's going to change your mind. But a lot of people like musicals, and I'm at the point where I don't really love musicals, but I can tolerate them. And a really well done musical, I think, it's just a different way of seeing traditional television, and I think there's so much to be appreciated. And the thing about stage performance is it captures the human energy. There is nothing like it. When you see that human energy on stage, it's just one of the most amazing feelings. In a TV show, you don't get that person's human energy coming out. You can get a good acting performance and all that, but when you're really there and you feel it, it's like being at the Olympic Stadium and seeing the energy as you run over. Or when, for example, when I'm running a marathon and I'm in a big race, for example, where there's lots of people, and the cheering as you come over the finish line, it's incredible. It is unbelievable. And that's what you get kind of in theatre. And that's what I got in community theatre when I used to perform. Even though it was performing for a bunch of parents and friends and that sort of thing, the energy you get on stage is incredible. It's about your own personal experience. It's not just the person watching having an experience. It's also about the performer having experience. So yeah, short story long. Yes, I do think the SpongeBob theatre is great.
So we got a question from Joey, I believe is the name.
Jojo?
Yeah, that one I think.
Is it Shabadoo?
No, it's...
Jojo Shabadoo?
No. It's Joey.
Yeah, oh, okay, alright.
Have you ever thought about doing horror-themed videos?
Horror-themed videos? I'm just not a big horror fan when it comes to... I'm a bit like SpongeBob in that my imagination, the second I see horror, does all the work. Where it's just like, my brain already generates a lot of horrifying stuff that I've sort of worked hard with self-discipline and meditation to sort of come to terms with and sort of just allow to float through and just not focus on. So giving myself more horrible mutilation or other existential dread and horrible things, like I can deal with it in real life, but I'm just like, why am I giving myself more horrific things? Why am I, for example, on a Five Nights at Freddy's scale, why am I giving myself stuff where I'm looking around the corner every night or worrying something's going to jump out at me and shove me inside a suit and tear me to shreds? You know, like, just on a very simple scale. Like, I do appreciate horror though, like I appreciate good horror. Like David Lynch, I think is really good uncanny valley horror. Like it's all about making it, and that's the thing I often say about horror, is good horror is not about letting you feel safe at the end. You should be looking, with real horror, you're looking around the corner and you're questioning your own self and trying to find safety, but it puts everything into question with horror, like, but you don't see that as much nowadays. You don't see many David Lynches because most horror people want to walk away from because we have enough horror in our own everyday lives, I tend to think. But some people really appreciate it because it's like an outlet for you to look at the most horrendous, dark things in humanity and society. Nin, for example, loves, those documentaries. I've met many people who like those documentaries on serial killers and all that sort of thing. I think it's fair to say she loves her air crash investigations and that sort of thing. And I think that sort of dives into that enjoyment of horror, I think. So yeah. Any other questions, darling?
So we've got a question from Zodiac Blade.
I think we've got some new donations coming up too.
Yep. Have you ever tried walking on your hands?
Yes, I have. I can actually do the spider walk like Linda Blair from The Exorcist. I actually have a video of that I posted on Twitter years ago, though. I'll post it again sometime. But I actually went through a period of about 2 years where I was practicing that every day because I was like, you make it look scary, because I saw the contortionist go down the stairs in The Exorcist and how easily she did it. And I was like, that's so cool, and it looks freaking horrifying. I want to be able to do that. I want to look like a spider upside down. So I practiced, and I got pretty good at it, where I was going, and moving at a reasonable rate, but I was never flying down the stairs like in the movie. That was really real talent. So yes. But I can't actually walk on my hands. I would practice at the gym. I used to, because I love circus stuff, as you can tell from the juggling. That's one thing I should have done. I should have juggled as well while doing this. It's harder to talk when I'm multitasking with that many things, though. I could do that, though. I never got very good at walking on the hands, though. I would practice against a wall and see if I could get good at it. And I ended up doing upside down push-ups because I saw Goku do them, and I thought, I want to look cool like that. Because Goku looks cool.
All right, so we've got a question from Tori Nets. How did you come up with the name Phantom Strider?
Because I used to run at 3 a.m. The third marathon I ever did was finished at 3 a.m. where I was just saying, okay, let's run from this one suburb to the other. And Strider, I had as the name no one called me in school. Hello, Shadow. It was a name no one called me in school, but for some reason, I think because I had a funny walk, I would call myself Strider. And so I would just, try and stick with that. And I don't know, one of those situations where you name yourself in 2007 on YouTube and just never change the name? I used to be Phantom Strider 8, and I was hesitant to change even that. But I think in 2012 or 14, it might have been 2016 I changed it to 2000. Anyway, yeah, that's why I'm Phantom Strider, because I walk funny and I walk with a bit of a stride. And I like the night because I don't like bright sunlight and that sort of thing. So this is partially why YouTube's perfect for me. You have to spend a lot of time in a dark room. Do we have any donations, darling? We should probably read those out in case there have been any.
Okay, so
refresh it.
Joey Joe, the one that we had a question from just before, donated $2. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
We've got Ryan back again, donated $1.
Thank you,
and they've left a comment saying, would you consider doing a community review ranking or a look at best or worst autistic characters in media or another Futurama video? So we've already touched on a few of those, but maybe the autistic characters we could touch on.
I don't feel I'd feel good doing autistic characters in media and movies. I don't know, there's something about it that's too close to home, and I get so, you know what it is? I get legitimately so fired up and angry when I see characters like Atypical badly portrayed, and when I know they're not autistic actors, I get so mad because I've seen so many people in the last 10 years who are in the autism spectrum community who desperately want to be actors, desperately want to be voice actors, and I'm like, you could not have hired any of these talented people who are on the autism spectrum. You have to hire these people who don't even know how to play a freaking autism spectrum, and they shouldn't have to. We have so many talented autism spectrum people. This is the problem, is it gets me so fired up and angry because I spent so many years, I wanted to be a voice actor when I was a teenager or early 20s. That was part of why I started on YouTube. I just wanted to talk about Futurama, but people used to say, hey, you got a great voice. But, there's been a lot of, I don't present well in interviews, and there's been a lot of auditions I've just failed at. I haven't had a chance, so I get too mad. This is the problem, I get too mad about live action autism spectrum. But I would be happy, however, to talk about autism spectrum cartoon characters. In fact, I've had one in the works. I've already talked about them with patrons, but I wanted to put together a big video where I potentially bring on Professor Tony Atwood, who's an expert in Australia on autism. I know him, he diagnosed me when I was 10, and I've chatted with him over the years at an interview with him. Or talk to people who are on the autism spectrum, and legitimately, I could pick 50 to 60% of the people currently in the live stream, and many of them would be on the autism spectrum. Many LGBTQIA plus people are on the autism spectrum. I have limited studies on that, so I'm not going to say that in sync, but from one of these, there's sadly limited studies on that, but what I have found, there is a lot of people, LGBTQIA+, who are autism spectrum. So, yeah, I would love to do a cartoon character autism spectrum video, but there's so much preparation and I keep on getting overwhelmed. I think there's so many good people I could bring onto that, particularly because I have been sort of talking about me being on the autism spectrum before. To do it justice, this is the problem with a project. When you got a project and you really want to do it, but it becomes so big in your mind, you're like, I'd rather just do this simple video. Let's just talk about foods next or something like that. So that's why you don't want to make your project too big. You want to keep it at a standard where you can say, I can do this. I'm still enjoying this. You know, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. Sometimes it's important just to get something out that is a piece of you. So yeah.
Okay, so we've got a donation from Adventurer. So they donated $10.
Thank you.
And they've left us a comment saying, thank you for being such great allies, Phantom and Nin. As a pansexual person with a lovely trans girlfriend, I appreciate this charity so much. We appreciate you so much too.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on board today.
Appreciate you helping.
Now we've got we've got another couple of donations from Monique Starr again. Another two at
Thank you.
At $25 each.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, Monique. But please.
I know.
It's tough times. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But she's left us a couple of comments. The first one is, I'm maybe under the ACE umbrella. No matter what, let's keep the support going.
I'm walking backwards for you, Monique.
And then she said, worried not many donations will have happened by the time I wake up. Want to ease my worries a little. You're adorable, Monique. Honestly, we really love that. But thank you so much for all of your donations and being a part of it today. You're fantastic. But yeah, thank you. We've also had a donation from Seb at $2.
Thank you.
And Seb's left us a comment saying, your walk reminds me of Cool Guy Stride, so Strider is fitting. That's awesome. Thanks for that, Seb.
Thanks, Seb. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, we are at 17.7 kilometers, darling.
Yeah.
We're getting close to finish line.
We are. And just so that everyone knows, we are at a total of $1,675.50.
We've done great. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh man, we've gotten close, haven't we?
Yeah. So did you say 17.5, sweetie?
Yeah, 17.5 will do you fine.
Beautiful.
And if you're curious, we've been going for a total of 3 hours and 13 minutes.
Well, there you go. 3 hours and 13 minutes we've been going for, guys. This is awesome.
We've done well.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us. So, do we have any other questions?
So we've got a question from Raki, who did a very sizable donation earlier. Thank you again, Raki.
Thank you, Raki.
Have you considered doing more walk streams?
What was it called?
More walks? Yeah.
Oh, I miss doing those. I used to do them on Livestrider. I guess, nowadays I could legitimately do them with you.
Yeah, you could.
I do still do more walks, but almost every day. I don't know, more walks are just my thing. Because what often happens is that I'll get through, say, 5 hours of editing or writing or something like that at home, and I'll be like 5 p.m. at night, and I'll be like, well, it's too dark to go out at night. I feel like I could run into snakes or something. There's nowhere really for me to go. Why don't I just go to the mall that's well lit, it's air conditioned. That's another thing, is it's so hot in Australia. It's like 32, 33 degrees Celsius today with about 80% humidity. So it's I wouldn't take me out in this sort of temperature. It's a bit too hot. I have run up to about 35 degrees Celsius before, but you drink so much that, you get dehydrated so quick and then get sunstroke quite easily. So that's why I love to do more walks. Not that you asked. You just asked if I'd do more chats. I've definitely wanted to lately. I find my sort of time to chill sort of a time where I just not talk and that sort of thing and recharge and that sort of thing. Because I guess lately, I definitely want to do them again though, I should. If people would like me to, I will gladly make more walks a thing again. Probably on Livestrider, because I think for Phantom Strider, for a really good cause like this, I do want to do it live. This is the first time I've ever actually done a live stream in 10 years on Phantom Strider, and I still feel. The thing is that I don't have to worry as much about sort of people tuning out now. I can do a good cause, and because I've got the support of patrons, I don't feel as scared of my entire livelihood disappearing and me having to go back to being a plumber or electrician. So I feel like I can do this for a good cause. We can do this for a good cause. So yeah, that's a good thing. But I definitely would do more walks again.
Yeah.
Long story long. Short story long.
So I just want to shout out, I've noticed a lot of people commenting in chat that they can't afford to donate, but
That's okay.
100% just being a part of this is enough. Like, that's just all we really ask for. So thank you guys for just being here and showing up. That's amazing. Just
Absolutely.
The support is fantastic.
As I said, most important thing here, while the money is wonderful that we can raise for charity, just giving that acknowledgement right now to the LGBTQI community and saying we're here for you and you're always welcome is the most important part for LGBTQI people right now. QIA plus. But yeah, you know what I mean in that. So just being here is a huge step in itself, and I appreciate that. Just people who've come in and out. So it's probably quite late in America, so I appreciate you just being here for a while and saying hi.
Absolutely. I've seen a few people have had to go off to bed, so thank you for still being here, everybody who's still here though. But I hope everyone else has had a good night.
Yeah, hope you have a good evening.
So did you want to do another video, darling?
Yeah, we'll do another video.
What would you like to do? We do have a suggestion from the community. They wanted to see worst animated rip-offs, if you want to do that. Otherwise, we can do something else. What would you like, darling?
I'm going to say worst animated rip-offs is an interesting one. Is that the recent one? Because I would talk about that one.
Yeah?
But I was actually going to say most dangerous foods would be fun because we haven't done a food video yet. And that's one of my favorite videos we've ever done. Most dangerous foods.
Okay, well, let's do that one then.
And you actually helped with the script of that one so much. I'll tell you in a sec. Because Nin was that video wouldn't have happened unless Nin had helped me with it. I'll wait till you give the call. That's it. And 3, 2, 1.
Hang on a sec, darling. I've got to put it in the right window. I search in the other window.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Go. So Nin actually helped make this one. It was put in basically mothballed for 6 months because I said I want to do this video and I want to talk about them. But I couldn't come up with an idea that was original because you might know this is a bit different to the usual most dangerous foods videos because these have been a popular thing for years, but people always talk about the same stuff I found when I was looking around, whether that be like the pufferfish, that dangerous pufferfish, and like I think dried walnut, uncooked kidney beans I think it was. Are dangerous as well but all kidney beans you find, almost all of them are cooked, and mushrooms. So what Nin did basically was she brought about all these different choices like marshmallows and said, what about marshmallows? They're dangerous because of the choking hazard. So she brought a different take to it, and she at the time was working with me, obviously before the channel settled down and things have happened. And basically was writing the script for that one. I said, that's a great idea. And I loved talking about this one because we got to send out some legitimately good messages, like talking about different types of foods and videos. We got to educate people. We even got to teach people watching the Heimlich maneuver. I've actually, talking about this one here, I've actually tried what was it? The Reaper, the Carolina Reaper, one of the hottest, not the hottest anymore, because they're always making new, because you've probably seen those hot food eating challenges and Reaper challenges and that sort of thing where they eat those and they're like, oh, don't give me, it's so hot, oh, I can't stand it, oh, it's horrible. And I tried one too, and so tried to see how long I could go without milk or something, because the water actually doesn't help much. It's the milk that helps to sort of deactivate the capsaicin on your tongue. Because basically the thing about capsaicin and hot pepper foods is they're not actually generally dangerous. In this case, though, there has been some legitimate hospital cases, but it doesn't do actual tissue damage, but it sends signals to your brain that you need to stop eating what you're eating, because it activates that hot sense, that sense of burning. So you can eat it without being hurt, but your brain thinks it's in horrible burning pain, and that's kind of part of why I think it became a big thing on YouTube. So yeah, Nin brought a really, I was basically saying to them, darling, you brought a really good take with this one. But
I thought outside the box for this particular video, because like you just wanted something different, and you just didn't have that that, I don't know, wow moment when you were sort of thinking about doing it. So I gave it to you.
Well, that's exactly it. And when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, technically marshmallows are. And number one, as like legitimately the biggest choking hazard in American history, it still tragically takes lives every year, the hot dog. But when you say the hot dog, you say, how could that be dangerous? It's a hot dog. I've legitimately got hot dogs stuck in my throat so many times where I'm lucky I had a drink nearby, like just from eating them when I'm really hungry. So I'm like, of course kids with smaller throats have had this danger, and purely on the scale of the amount of hot dogs that are eaten per year, this danger does come up. So yeah, here we've got the Chubby Bubby marshmallow. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, chubby bunnies.
Chubby bunnies. And yeah, Nin was sort of the one who brought this to me, and we said, oh, what a great idea. I can't stand marshmallows, to be fair. It's, what is it made of? It's like made of pig bone marrow and sugar and corn syrup, and like it's not the ingredients that bother me, it's the fact that they just taste like nothing. Like, you can have a chocolate and you're like, oh, this is a real treat. You have a, I guess over a fire, they're kind of special. It makes me think of s'mores.
Yeah.
But in Australia, we don't tend to eat marshmallows over fire. We just eat them. You know, like we just kind of stuff our face with them. Like they're just a snack you have. But you have s'mores and campfires and all sorts of things in America. But here it's just sort of like, meh. And I guess that thing is I kind of miss out on the American tradition. Yeah, so during this I did legitimately try and eat them as I was talking, so you can stir beside the sword like this when I'm talking, because I'm sticking like 4 or 5 marshmallows in my mouth. And I think I handled them okay, but I cheated a bit because I used smaller marshmallows. I didn't realize they were smaller, but legitimate size marshmallows are like that big, but I was picking ones that are like that big, so I cheated a little bit. But I wanted to sound slightly dignified on camera, because you don't come to me to listen to me, that's great. I tend to actually skip over things where I'm eating, because I tend to find it's such an autistic thing to say in some ways, but I find eating kind of gross. So I don't want to watch people eat. And when I watch I watch a lot of taste testing videos, and when I watch people eat, I'm like, ew. People don't look really cool or dignified while they're eating. It's not something people go, oh, I want to watch people. Actually, to be fair, on YouTube, some people do. And this is where I showed Heimlich, and this is one of the most replayed part of the videos, because people were just trying to get the Heimlich maneuver right, where you go sort of in and up and that sort of thing. And to be fair, I looked over a few times, because I've never had to perform the Heimlich maneuver, but there have been family and loved ones who have struggled to get the stuff out of their throat. And sometimes in first aid, I remember we were originally taught a slight hit on the back between the bones there, but that changes depending on what first aid agency you speak to. Rice, yeah. This was an odd choice, and technically some people still use this one. To get a full 11 list, there was some choices that have been discussed before. It looked like I was still chewing on marshmallows there. But I never realized before that rice goes bad so quickly and gets relatively dangerous quickly. You were the one who looked this up, weren't you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I might have even gotten you to sort of give the information here, if I remember right. No. You wrote it. That was it. You wrote this entire section.
Hey.
And I sort of thought, hey, Bob.
Hello, baby.
Why'd you
What's
come up
wrong?
there?
Are you hungry?
Well, once we reach, do you want to feed him now, though? we're getting there. You can give him a feed if you want.
You want your dinner, Bobo?
Want your dinner? But yeah, I wanted to avoid doing continual choices that were just bad cooking. Like cases where, of course, something's dangerous if it's bad cooking. Our ancestors realized that several, 100,000 years ago. Like we were realizing, hey, if you don't cook this food, some of us have died. Let's not eat that again. So I tried to leave out the cooked ones, but so many people eat rice. It's the most commonly eaten food in the world. So I thought there's a fair point to be made with that. So that's why I included that. And potentially, though, I wouldn't normally give cooking instructions, but I felt, it might help someone out there. Because a lot of people reheat rice. Bob, you're really hungry, aren't you? You've got a lot to say. Did he eat brekkie?
Yeah.
He did.
Just a cat.
Just a cat. Pasta's my favorite personally. You basically get the same thing, about the same nutrition with both pasta and rice from what I've read on nutrition. So pasta, you sort of go with whatever you find your preference on that. Oh yeah, that was right. We talked about tomatoes next, which technically, historically, did have a history of. Did you research this one?
Oh, I think I did, yeah.
And what actually happened with this one is originally I added tomatoes into the script. Min added tomatoes into the script, and I looked into it and I said, well, research on this says it's completely inaccurate nowadays, but it did used to be considered dangerous, but then we found out better. So basically that was what I went with. So technically it isn't dangerous, but I basically spent the video disproving it was dangerous and gave the original story on why. So that's an interesting thing that happens in some scripts when Min helps me write it, is that she will add some points and I will write, why is this? Some people might say such and such, but I say, and so yeah, that was I think we give an interesting dynamic, and I do really miss Nin in script. She works full-time support work
and
now,
does TAFE now.
And you have TAFE now. You're also doing a course in support work?
Yeah. So I do a Cert 3 in individual support for aging and disability, and I also work in disability support and in aged care kind of stuff too. So yeah.
And I actually, as I mentioned, since I started on Patreon, I'm not constantly worrying about the channel anymore. I'm putting all my time into the videos and worrying about that. I've actually started a few hobbies outside, such as doing a little bit of disability support work for one of Nin's clients, which I've really enjoyed. I found very fulfilling, and I hope to keep doing it. Yeah. But tomatoes also have been found in studies to have some really good nutritional benefits. So I was hesitant to even mention this one, and I was like, how could anyone ever consider tomato dangerous? But it was also all based on hearsay. Peanuts themselves, I thought this was a cool choice because my mum's been a teacher / head of special education for 35 years, and she gets a lot of students with peanut allergies. And the thing about peanut allergies is you need a tiny amount. Some people are so sensitive that their entire throat can swell up from just the tiniest amount. So a lot of schools have become peanut-free zones where peanut butter, not a single thing is allowed that has peanuts in it. And that's why you'll often find on packets of stuff, it'll say, may contain traces of peanuts. 19 kilometers, by the way, Dal.
Oh, yep.
And that's why you'll find that. But it's a tragedy because I have peanut butter every morning. I think it is just an absolute tragedy that anyone could not have peanuts. But they have actually found people can build a peanut tolerance, but they have to start with such tiny amounts that it's quite difficult and a lot of people don't bother. But I also give instructions here on how to help a person if they do have a peanut allergy. Most people that have a very high peanut allergy will have an EpiPen or something that will be able to be injected that will help their swelling or whatever happens, because it does happen that someone will have a peanut allergy, particularly in schools. Most of the time they'll carry the EpiPen or whatever they use in their backpack. So reiterate that. I actually asked my mum about that one because I was like, you've run into this all the time. And she said, oh, this is what I do and this is what I mention. So I don't know, I was proud on this one. I could bring about a bit of safety in. Got about 593,000 over the last 2 years. So hopefully it got through, helped a few people. You never know. You never know. It's all very anonymous state when you're on YouTube. Mushrooms. This one's a very obvious one, but we recently actually had a group of people in Australia who were poisoned by mushrooms. Some of which, very bad situation. We may have actually mentioned it in this video.
Probably.
But it was an absolute tragedy. So certainly with mushrooms, I don't recommend removing them from your diet because I have this great recipe of mushroom risotto. It's the most delicious thing ever with proper chicken stock and that sort of thing. But you do have to be careful. I would only ever buy mushrooms at the supermarket. But that being said, some people do really like mushroom picking, but I would make sure you're consulting with an expert first. Plus, I love getting out in nature. I can't remember. My editing team did a fantastic job on this one. Cohen was doing some of his best edits. I think Ricky helped with this one. Ricky was in before. Really fantastic editing team, you know, and I'm so glad I can have them their help again. Yeah. Do we have any questions, by the way, darling?
Not really, but
Okay.
we're sitting on 1,877.
Oh my goodness, we're so close.
We are getting quite close, yeah. So we've
Some
got...
bubbles.
Sorry?
Let's do some bubbles.
Yeah. So we've got Charlie who's donated $5.
Thank you, Charlie.
And Charlie's left a comment saying, I feel the same way about DID representation. Every time there's someone with DID, their alter is a murderer or something horrible and it boils me up.
Yeah.
People either believe that's all it is or don't believe we systems exist. Anonymous has donated $20.
Oh, thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous. Stephen has donated $20. Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen. What, so, okay,
Oh my god. Raki, you are amazing. Please don't donate again. But
Yeah.
thank you for giving another $100.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Giving another $100 for this great cause. I'd like to ask where you two top 5 favourite films of the year. My top 5 were Hundreds of Beavers, Dune Part 2, The Substance, The Wild, Robot, and Furiosa.
Well, what were some of your favourites that you watched this year, darling?
Oh, this is a good question.
The problem is we haven't watched as many films
No,
this year.
we haven't. We've honestly had one of the busiest years, and we haven't necessarily gone and seen as many movies as we'd like to see. Like in our first few years being together, we went like quite often, really. But
We used to go to the movies all the time last year.
Yeah.
If you asked our choices last year. But I guess, you know what it is, partially? Because the bit channel was just going down in views, like, the spare income I had dropped so significantly. As I said, I was legitimately buying spinach to try and
filter out.
find the
like-
cheapest possible
Yeah.
vegetables I could use, frozen spinach and that sort of thing. And I was saying Bassa is the cheapest fish I can use, so I can still be healthy at night and stuff. But yeah, like that's the point I was making. So all our income, we stopped going for lunch.
Yep.
We stopped going for meals. We stopped doing anything, including cinemas.
Cinemas and going away on places.
Oh, well,
and
yeah, we
just,
didn't do any trips
We
or
haven't
anything
really
like that.
done a lot.
And
you know.
that being said, a lot of people are doing it tougher right now, so I'm not trying to do it for me. I'm just telling you that's what happened. But we do really want to get back into movies.
Absolutely. But
that's-
I do have to say,
Yeah.
just off the back of that probably the one movie that we did go and see that
Yeah.
I really, 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 really enjoyed
Twisters.
was Twisters. Like that was, to me, like
great.
back in the 90s when the original Twisters came out,
one of our favorite movies of all
it
time.
is still to this day one of my most favorite movies, and I will watch that a squillion times over and never ever get sick of that. When I went and saw the Twisters movie that just recently came out, just on point. Like I just really enjoyed that, and I think I even walked out of the cinema and I was just like, oh my god,
You said that was the best one.
that
you've
was the
seen.
best movie that I've probably seen since being with Josh.
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah.
I think the thing that I loved about Twisters is that it took what was in the original and it added upon it. And there were similar sort of paying homage to the original, but it wasn't an exact copy. It was kind of what I would have liked to see in the Star Wars prequels or that sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't mind the sequels. I thought they were fine. Not the best, but like it was what I call a perfect remake. Even the fact that one of the most dramatic, awesome things ever is in the original they just survived a tornado. In this, they killed a tornado.
Yeah, how cool is that?
That is just incredible. Like
that is such a different concept as well to a lot of doomsday movies. That like you see so many natural disaster movies that, you know, they're just basically surviving, but you don't ever, I've never ever seen that concept done where they're literally killing the tornado, and it's like, oh my god, that is like,
saying that is so ridiculous.
That is like combining two of my most favourite things into one film, where it's kind of like a true crime documentary, but also a natural disaster, and I think that is fantastic. You put a plane crash in there, it'd be even better.
Or a flying cow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, afterwards we watched Twister again.
Yeah.
And said, oh, I actually like this part better in the original. And we saw, like, I love the original Twister movie, but we could see how outdated it was in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
And ways it was done so much better. Like, I love the fact that all the characters are complex.
Yeah.
In Twisters. It's not just, oh, he's sold out, or he's got corporate sponsors, I want corporate sponsors sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, what was even their complaint with that? It doesn't read this point, but like, oh, I like corporate sponsors too. How dare he have corporate sponsors? So anyway, yeah. So I think there were so many improvements in that movie. I love the complexity.
Yeah.
I love that scene at the end where they're both worrying about that main protagonist, and both of them come. Reminds me so much of that scene we had where you were at our wedding. You know, like I always think of that scene. So yeah, really beautiful movie. Yeah. And I'm so sorry. It's like that like the only movie we saw this year. That's pathetic.
Oh, I think we've seen other ones, but I don't remember at this particular point in time.
Oh, I don't remember any others. I think that might have been the only like 1 or 2 movies we saw. It's terrible. So yeah, sorry, we can't give more interest. We love Twister. That was our top 1 movie of the one we saw.
So we've got a donation from Anonymous for $25. Thank you, Anonymous. We've got a donation from Alan Waters, who I believe has donated previously as well. They've given another $1, which is fantastic.
Thanks, Alan.
They've left a comment saying, my therapist said I'm on the spectrum, but I said I'm on Verizon.
Yeah.
Also, as a gay ace poly questioning guy who is also allistic, I'm really happy to be here. We're happy to have you here, Alan. Thank you for coming
so good
along.
To have you here, Alan.
Yeah.
I know it's very late in America, so I appreciate anyone who's decided to stick around. I get it if you need to go to bed and whoever you've still got. Thank you so much. We're at 20 kilometers by the way,
Yep. Monique's also donated another $25.
Thank you, Monique.
Thank you so much again, Monique.
The rest, it's important you have, like, that you're okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Summer's also donated $5. Thank you, Summer.
Thank you, Summer. Thank you so much as well, Monique, again. Thank you.
Yeah,
Really
for
appreciate
sure, Monique. Like, just fantastic.
Really appreciate you.
This name again, I believe they've donated before, and it's a name that I stumble over. Sorry if I pronounce it again wrong. Anushi.
Anushi. Oh yeah, I know Anushi.
Anushi has donated $1.
Thank you so much, Anushi. Appreciate it.
And has commented, I'm an androsexual trans man, and I'm proud to be LGBT. When people like you guys support us, we're happy to support you. Thank you so much for just joining us today.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Oh, I talk about the recovery position here and the EpiPen. Yeah, again, I gave a lot of safety information on this video. And it's a funny thing about some of these videos is they kind of just, it's a bit like my toy videos, they kind of just fall into the ether of YouTube, where they did well, but after a week or so, they're suddenly just like, shoom. And I was like, did it get flagged or something? I couldn't get it, but yeah, no, I'm very proud of this video, one of my favorites. You have any other questions, darling? Oh, and update that to 20 if you can.
Oh, I did.
Thanks,
Sorry,
man.
I'm just trying to read through.
Oh, you're okay. You got a
we've got
lot
here.
to look at. I've got it easy for this one.
Oh, just so we know,
Yeah.
we're at 1,905
Oh my
in the
goodness.
donations bin. So thank you guys so much. We're so close to that $2,000. It's ridiculous.
I never thought we'd get this far. Even if we just get to this, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please don't feel pressured. Like, if you can, that's wonderful. But yeah, like I'm so glad we could get this far and help this much. So happy about it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're so close to our target of 21K.
Yep.
We're so close to our 2,000K total. I have noticed throughout the day in the chat that we've had people commenting that they really love our playlist for the music, the Sonic playlist. So
Chose it myself.
yeah, Josh chose that one himself, so he's very proud of that. Sonic is obviously his childhood hero, so
Sonic's
yeah.
my hero. Every time we go by a shop, like, we go, oh, Sonic! Oh, Sonic! Oh, dear.
We're loving it at the moment because there's so much Sonic merchandise and everything just hanging about these days, which is just fantastic, you know?
I didn't quite understand why. I know there's been a couple of new Sonic games like Shadow Generations and Sonic, what was it? Sonic Superstars. But like, there's so much, and I'm like, I think what's happening is millennials have grown up and have their own kids now. Because a lot of the Sonic merchandise is in the little kids category. I'm like, millennials have grown up like me who had Sega Mega Drives and Master System. And now we've got kids of our own. We're like, oh, we want to give them Sonic. A bit more Sonic in our lives. Sonic, because to be fair, I'd be enjoying Sonic with my kids if I had kids, but we're child free. But if we had kids, you can bet they get Sonic.
Wow, we just got a comment from Arrows, and they've said that they live near the place where they actually filmed Twister. How cool is that? That is so cool.
That's so cool.
Well,
Like,
I'd love to know where that is, but like I certainly don't want you to disclose your location. But like
that must be
that is
tough.
that is actually really cool. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with us. That is pretty cool.
You know, one scene I wonder about is, you know how they had all that rubble when they trashed
Yeah.
the town? I wonder how they did that.
I don't know.
Oh, by the way, we have our number one choice here, hot dog eating competitions,
Ooh.
which I still think was a really cool choice. I haven't seen another list do this, and you know, in terms of like what claims to fame I can make on YouTube, like this is the one I say this was, and Nin thought it up. I'm pretty sure Nin thought it up, and I'm still very proud of this. Where I'm just like, this was a legitimate problem in society, and we said something about it. You know, that wasn't just the repeat of 50 other lists. So yeah, very happy with that. Oh.
Who would have thought to do hot dogs anyway?
Who would have thought it? And who would put that in the dangerous foods category?
I know. It's a
But it
hot
is.
dog.
Technically, it is. Well, technically, you know, you think of other foods that have caused more deaths than hot dogs, and there aren't that many. It's just like, it's terrible.
Absolutely.
Oh, but, you know, I like hot dogs. I legitimately had kangaroos yesterday, hot dogs yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I love hot dogs, but I didn't like lower fat ones. But anyway, you get my point with that. So yeah, I was happy with that choice. Any other questions, Darren?
Not that I'm seeing those. There is people asking though, how do they donate to the cause? And there are people sort of responding in the chat, but I just wanted to put it back out there that there is a link in the description to this video. So yeah, you can go through there and click on the donate there. Also, there's the links for the hotlines, and I'll just show you those hotlines again.
Yep.
So basically, if you or someone you know needs help or support, the Trevor Project crisis counsellors are available 24/7. You can reach a trained counsellor by texting 678 678 or calling 1866 488 7386, or you can live chat in trevorchat.org. The link is in the description. For anyone else in America, the 988 helpline is available 24/7 and is free and confidential. And that website is 988lifeline.org. It is a crisis hotline available to all Americans and has a text and chat option too.
Yep.
If at any time you feel like talking to someone, there's a link in the description for you.
There's always someone to talk to if you ever need someone to talk to. lots of warm lines as well. It doesn't have to be a crisis. If you just need someone to talk to, it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm still talking about hot dogs in this video.
Clearly you had a lot to say about hot dogs for that one, darling.
Well, it's just, I don't know. Even now I've yammered on too much about hot dogs. But yeah, one of my favorite videos to do. I don't know why I have such a connection with foods. I think it's partially because I myself tend to have so few kind of quote-unquote treats. I don't tend to eat a lot of chocolate or fast food or that sort of thing. You know, it probably looks weird, this bony guy, you know, who's talking about, the super hot dog, super, you know, burgers and that sort of thing. But legitimately, I tend to just mostly eat stir fries and oats and all these sort of really more healthy foods, lots of vegetables and that sort of thing. You can finish the video if you like, though. Yeah, I think what I like is the experience of the food, where like I don't want to eat them because my stomach can't handle them very well. I have a very sensitive stomach, but I like sort of just looking back on these restaurants and these hot dogs and these Twinkies and these M&Ms and these Oreos and all these other foods, and saying, oh, what an experience. What was it like when they ate them? And I kind of like to offer that as well, because I love the colors and packaging in merchandise and that sort of thing. Like when Easter is on, I love looking at the Easter. I've always wanted to make like the worst Easter eggs and that sort of thing. Shadow, don't pick at that. Like, yeah, I do love doing those candies. Like the Halloween one was such fun for me. I had a really good time, and I'm glad that one actually went out to a few people because it was just sort of very the heart of what I like doing. 20.8 doll, we are nearly there.
Ooh, 20.8.
Thank you so much for sticking with us, everyone. It's just nearly there, 20.9. Okay. I'll skip to the end.
Okay, so we've got a question from Takuti. They've asked generally for the chat, but have you got a favourite candy?
What's your favourite?
Oh, look, I like anything that's, you know, chocolate.
You love Freddo Frogs.
I love my Freddo Frogs. I'm a sucker for
Kit Kats?
Freddo, Kit Kats and all of that. So yeah, that's me.
What are some of the favourites in the comments?
That there isn't any sort of responding, but there is somebody here who has asked the question. It's from Gloomy Amateur. Will you ever break the no anime rule on the channel again?
I just can't cover it very well, and the problem is anime is so... One of the first videos I ever did, Dragon Ball GT review, was copyright struck by the Akira Toriyama, whoever does the copywriting. So I can never show my original video because it was struck by copyright, and I was threatened with a copyright strike. So I just get, even the times I've covered anime with Robin, some of the few parts I've added have gotten copyright struck. So I've just got to be so careful with anime. It's American cartoon is often more reasonable nowadays and much easier to work with. So yeah, that's my main reason.
Yeah.
We have just hit 21.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Sorry guys, I know I just asked if there was any last questions for Strider,
Yeah,
and
well,
I did
can,
get
answer
spammed
some
with
last
heaps
questions.
more.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll stick around and do a few more. Just
Yeah. There's some interesting hints to that, because there's one episode, I think it's season 7, where Squidward leaves a love heart, loves Squidward, to SpongeBob. I'm like, where did that come from? And something actually I'm going to talk about that someone in my Patreon actually mentioned to me is that SpongeBob has become more fruity over the years. That's the way she put it. And I thought that's actually a good point. Originally, Stephen Hilberg put that SpongeBob is asexual, that he doesn't really have a sexuality. He isn't aromantic though. And I actually talk about this a little bit more. And he has a little bit of objectophilia in an episode like to Love a Patty, where he falls in love with a patty. He doesn't necessarily have a attraction to it, but he falls in love with a physical attraction, but he falls in love with it. So I have a lot to say in terms of SpongeBob's how that's been portrayed over the years, but I definitely think there is a little bit of I definitely feel that bisexual attraction in certain exchanges they have, not so much on Squidward, maybe a little bit on Squidward's side occasionally, but mostly from SpongeBob. And In some ways, though, I also see his obsession with Squidward as a little bit on the spectrum. I tend to think of like him, he's very fixated on Squidward as his best friend. This is the way he wants to see that Squidward's his best friend. He loves the idea of Squidward in some ways. So I think there's so many takes that could be put on SpongeBob that, but I do think there is plenty of hints towards that attraction to Squidward. And in the latest seasons, I love that Tom Kenny has made SpongeBob a little more fruity. There's a little bit of a 90s gay side to him there, and I really like that. I think it's one of my favorite takes to SpongeBob, so yeah.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
I can't believe it, guys. Thank you so much. I can't believe we made it to that goal. I was thinking this morning, I lost sleep this morning because I was like, I set it too high. We'll never make this. And legitimately, part of why we did make it is there's some people there who donated a lot. And thank you so much. This is the first time, to everyone who donated though, thank you so much, because this is the first time I've ever done a live stream
on Phantom Strider.
On Phantom Strider,
yeah.
Let me just move this. This is the first time I've ever done a live stream, and I would like to again in the future. Part of what I want to do moving forward, now that I'm Patreon supported and feel comfortable releasing this other stuff on YouTube, not just top videos and that sort of thing like I've done for the last 10 years, is I want to start doing good stuff like this, where we can come together as a community and help people, whether that just be through chatting and talking, or whether that be through small donations. The fact that we can do something good together in a difficult time, it's something I've always wanted. And to see that, you want to come on camera, Dale?
Yeah, I do.
To be able to do that now is just... Oh, you okay, Dale?
Nearly fell over, guys, sorry.
I would have thought you. To be able to do that now is just so special, and this has meant so much to me. And for me, this is a piece of cake. 21Ks, I've run 56K marathons in the mountains. There was no elevation, but I'll do a full marathon sometime if people want me to. I gladly do one of these again. I hope it was interesting enough to you. I tried to make it interesting. I didn't feel my commentaries were that good. I felt like particularly I was really bad and Disney didn't have enough good points. I learned too much. But that's my OCD talking.
Last time you guys took over, you had a question and we had a
questions
lot of answers
and
for you
sort of
guys.
thing.
So thank you for contributing, not only just in monetary wise, but just being
here and
is just amazing.
And
So thank you.
And times are tough, so I know how hard this was, and just people helping out. And as I said, what's most important today is we reminded the LGBTQIA community, plus community, how special they are, how important they are to us, and that they are always welcome.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter who's in power, what's going on, you're welcome.
Wow.
And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'm always going to do my best to be here, and there's plenty of communities out there. I'm certainly not the only one who welcome you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much to Min, who's been here. She has been doing all the work for this stream. I did very little. I just walked and made stupid faces and ranted about my old
I think
stupid
the bubbles,
videos.
if you guys are really, wanting to know what it looks like, it's just this thing.
Shoot a bit.
That's the bubbles.
They get these so cheap now, and I was like, this is so us to put on a silly sort of little bubble thing. And this is sort of the best I can do with OBS and that sort of thing. This is just the exact sort of thing that she and I would do.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, guys. If you'd like to see us do this sort of thing again, please let me know on social media, on Patreon, if you're a patron, or drop a comment. That'd be perfect. That sort of thing. Just let us know, because we loved doing it and we're so glad to be here.
Thank you, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Now I've got to figure out how to